Hey y'all, how is everybody? I'm Miss Eve. Can you hear me okay? I'm gonna make sure you can hear me okay. Yes, okay, good. I don't know what this dumb thing is. It's always wanting you to show that stupid link, and then I close it out, and then it comes back up again. Now go away. Go away. All right. Let's see. I think it's just me and you in here, Eve. Is it just me and you? It is okay. Let's see. Mandy's coming. She just got her grandbaby laid down. And Cher said she would be a little late, so she'll be in here. So there was like a lot going on today, I seen in YouTube land. I didn't get to get on here much, but when I did get on here, it seemed like there was a lot going on. Yes, right now. Yeah, that's okay. There's a lot of people live. I seen a few people had live scheduled, so there may not be a lot of people in here, but that's okay. Yeah, I seen that. I seen there was quite a bit of excitement in the tubes today. Well, that's usually the way it is. Some days are quiet, and then other days are like crazy. Crazy, crazy. I know I was a little late getting started. I had some errands to run when I left my daughter, so I was a little late getting started today. By the time I got back, a lot of people are are they? Yeah. Yeah. She been alive been alive. Has she been live long? I guess that's what I was trying to say. But it didn't work out that way. I I didn't click on anybody's that was live. I just seen that I had some notifications come up. Oh, about 45 minutes. Yeah. And I'm sure she's talking about summer. So a lot of people have started talking about summer, it seems, since I started talking about her again, too. Some more people have been coming up. So that's good that we're getting summer out there again, keeping her out there, keeping her name and her story out there. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. So the interview, we're going to continue the interview that we started last week that we didn't get, but like 20 minutes into that interview, we're going to pick up there. And it's going to pick up right where Don is talking about about summer being a part of history. So many people there searching for summer. So I think that's about where we're going to start it. And then of course it'll go on and tell how Don has to tell his story. So it'll go on and we'll see that. Hey, Sinister Shadows Reacts. How are you? Marlena drama over there. Okay, well, that's not a surprise. She seems to have caused a lot of drama the last few. I mean, what she said was old, but some people don't know that, I guess, and they think it's something she just said, but it's not. It's something It's something from a long time ago, but she's changed it. That's the thing. It's some things are different from what she originally said. So I think that's where everybody's getting confused with. They think it's the first time she said it. Fabulous. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. At least it's not bad weather. At least we made it through one weekend without bad weather. Because every weekend for the last month, I think it's been bad weather. I don't know how far we'll make it on this video since we don't seem to make it very far. We seem to want to talk a lot about the videos, but that's okay. That's what it's for, is for good discussion and, you know, everybody's opinions and what we think. And so that's good that we talk that much about it. Well, I just seen Brittany J went live, so there's a lot of us alive. Lot of us live tonight is what I'm trying to say. I'm worried about this Mississippi River being so high. We haven't had any rain. All the stuff from everywhere else that flows down. Yeah, yeah. You know, it was high. I noticed when we went across it a couple of weeks ago. I noticed it was high. I did notice that. Filling up so quick, you know. Filling up so quick. All right, we'll give everybody just a few more minutes. I don't think there's going to be a lot of flood of people in here, but we're going to give a few more minutes and then we will start the video. We will start the video. Oh, I didn't see that comment. Let me go back up there. In my opinion, Miss Marlene is there for the 100%. 100%. I agree with that. Well, you know, the truth doesn't change. The stories never change. When you tell the truth, it's going to be the truth now, tomorrow, 3 days from now, a month from now, it's still going to be the truth. So when you add stuff, now you can forget stuff, and I get it. Maybe at the time you forgot, and you go back and you're like, I remembered this, because I guess trauma and different things that keep you from remembering everything. But for the most part, the truth never changes. I'm too honest for this. Hello. Thank you for being here. You've been low key but listening. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yes, ma'am. I like to lurk in the bushes too. There's a lot of times I go watch a live and never even say a word. Never, just because sometimes I just rather would just listen, and just read comments and listen. And there's other times where, I can say like a whole bunch of things and nobody knows, nobody reacted or anything. I'm like, can anybody see me? So sometimes I'm just quiet. Sometimes. And sometimes people are saying so much, so many interesting things that you really don't need to say anything. Who is not lying? You're right. That is a good, that's a very good question. Who in this case is not lying? I know. Right? I don't know if there is an answer. I don't know if we could put a person with who is not lying. I don't think that we could, to be honest. I don't know of anybody that's not. I don't feel like now that you look at it and you say it that way, I don't know if anybody is being truthful. It doesn't seem like they are being, um, because we've heard just about every one of them's story change or something added to it. Um, like the screams, Don just kind of talked about them to Cher, and nobody even knew about those. So it was like, well, this is the first we've heard. It's like, did they tell law enforcement? Did they tell TBI about the screams, or did TBI learn about them through Don telling interviews, or were there really screams? I'm not saying there weren't. I'm just saying, were there really screams? You know what I mean? More lies than anything. Yeah. Yeah. Because you know that it's always been since I was little. Sorry about that. My parents would, and my grandparents, my mama, my papa, on both sides of my family, they would tell me, one lie turns into another one, into another one, into another one. And it's like a domino effect. You start telling one and you just have to tell another one to cover that one, have to tell another. And then you forget. You forget the ones you're telling. So it would not surprise me a bit if even they look back at these videos and interviews and say, did we really say that? Did we really say that? I don't remember saying that. You know what I mean? Now, for the most part, do I believe they remember everything they say if they look back? For some of it, I think they would remember. But yeah, because there's some stuff I did not remember them saying because it's been so long and they said so much that there was a lot of things I did not remember. So I'm glad we're reviewing it, because it um, helps us remember the things they said, and you can go back and analyze them and think, oh my gosh, this sounds so much. It has to sound so much worse than it did then, or why wouldn't I have reacted to it, or why wouldn't I have, thought about that? Why am I now so shocked to hear it? Even if they watched them, they'd have no. You're right. They are both broke. You're right. That I believe, and because we haven't found Summer, or I say that loosely. Um, law enforcement hasn't found Summer, and so it's easy for them to have that attitude of, no matter what we say, we're not going to get caught, because they still haven't found her. You know what I mean? They have that comfort in knowing that we still don't know, and law enforcement still doesn't know where she's at. Or what happened. And I think they have that confidence that they don't have to worry about it. So they just talk because nothing's been done. And June will be, coming up on 4 years. I mean, every year's got to give them even more confidence, that law enforcement's not going to find her. But if we keep her name out there, just like I say about all the missing ones, even if you just keep their names out there, like I just seen before I got on here, that a man and his son I think they were hiking, and they came across skeletal remains. So now they're going to test those remains, and because obviously it's someone that is missing. And then right before that, I seen where another man had been missing since 2022, and someone just found his remains and they have already been identified. So, you know, it can happen. It can happen. Everybody's luck runs out eventually. Yep, surely the wells are due. I clearly see. Let me put this up here. I clearly see in my mind on and resurrection comment. I knew then they would know. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Why would you even talk about that if why would that even be something, as a parent of a missing child, I would think that you wouldn't even that's something you wouldn't even want to entertain or think about or want. You're the last thing you would be thinking of is that. You're going to be thinking of, I'm going to find them, they're going to be okay. We're going to, once they get back, we're going to do everything we can to get them well and happy and healthy. That's what you're thinking. You're not thinking, well, I'm going to see them in heaven one day. I mean, you don't want to think that. That means you either know or you've given up all hope. And I just can't see giving up all hope. I just can't see that. I would have thought they were lost in the woods, not resurrection. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anything's better than thinking, not that you don't want to go to heaven or you don't want your children to go to heaven, but just not right now. You know what I mean? Candace Williams stand up for her daughter. I know. I really feel like, and some people look, and this is just my opinion and how I feel about it. And some people they're like, why would she be that? That's her daughter. But I see it as like a jealousy thing. I think Candace was jealous of Summer. Um, because, there is that father and daughter relationship where a lot of fathers and daughters are closer, just like mothers and sons. So, it's not wouldn't be the first time a mother was jealous of her daughter's relationship with her father. They don't stand for Summer. No way. And in my opinion, do not believe she was healthy when she went missing. I don't believe she was healthy. She didn't look healthy to me. Um, Now, I'm not saying Candace didn't take her to the doctor and get her shots and she wasn't ready for school. I don't know that. Candace said that she was ready for school. I never see, nobody ever showed shot records or school registration that I saw. Now, there might have been some, but I never saw any. So she said she was ready to go to school and she had her shots and her checkup and everything. But for me, she looked sick. She didn't look like she felt good to me. But, you know, maybe it's because all of her hair was shaved off and she looked so pale. Maybe it's just because of that I say she don't look good. You know what I mean? Um, but why was her hair shaved off? I don't know of anything where they would have to shave her head like that for any reason. I mean, I get it if somebody in your family, was to have the C word and you was supporting them, shaving your hair off to support them. I can see that, but that wasn't even the case there. Yeah, I would have to have proof too. Yep. Exactly right, Eve. Yep. Yeah. It's hard to believe anything they say because and you shouldn't judge it on just what we hear on the internet, but it's what we see too. And what we see in the interviews, not just that Cher and Mark did, but Don was on other channels too. So it's just the things you see and then the way they acted, like how Candace acted when Dawn went to jail, and so it's just the actions through these years that people can see. Yeah, yeah, yep. Hi, Mimi Jean. How are you? Welcome in. We were chatting. Hold on just a second. Let me put Miss Mandy up here so she can talk too.
Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Yes, we hear you, Salem. Gosh,
So talkative.
he's over here just meow meow meow. Like I hear you. I hear you.
He's talking back to you.
Yeah, I know. He was quiet, and then all of a sudden he just started back talking. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, so classy.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking about um how we and I'm too honest for this made a very good point. Is there anybody in this with Summer that's not lying? Is there anybody that's not lying?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, yeah, we couldn't think of
Mm,
anybody. Maybe you can.
um. Yeah. No. I'm.
Out of the
I'm
main
fresh out.
character. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm fresh out.
yeah.
Um.
And I'm like, that's a good point. I'm too honest because you never really think about who isn't lying. You just think about who is, you know.
Right.
And like Marlena, she's changed her story. Even and we were talking about that how, you know, look at Mimi, me. You know
Thankfully,
how
you're not a player in this case.
that's right. You know how Marlena, her story is not new. So this is what she said a while ago. So, but what's new about it, I think, is what people are getting confused with is she's changed some things. That part is new.
Right.
Like
Yep.
first she said 7:30. Now she said like first it was 7:30. Now it's 4:37.
Right.
That
Yep.
Candace told her. So I don't think it's so much. I think that's what's confusing people. It's not new what she's saying. What's new is she's changed it, and
Yeah.
that's new part of it.
Yep. Right.
Okay,
I
this one.
actually just.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go
Salem.
ahead.
I was just going to read. After all this time, get real, Marlena. We don't believe you, right?
Right. So I finally just because I haven't gone back to listen. The very first night that Marlena was on panel
Mm-hmm.
with Prayer Garden, um, listened to it and I couldn't. I mean, I happen to be very similar to you, and I'm very intuitive, and I just get a read of people. And my first impression, I always go with my first impression. And I was trying to listen and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't focus because all I kept hearing was bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And so I couldn't pay attention.
Yeah,
That was it. And so I
it's
finally changed
aggravating.
it. It is. It's
Yeah,
very frustrating. The same with
yeah.
Jody Sue. I can't listen to her either. I try to listen to her, but it's the same way, like she doesn't, she lived up there. So she knows how they were. Okay, cool. Other than that, I mean, how are you still talking every day for hours? Like,
I mean, hours, like days. Sometimes I heard.
yeah, yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I sure as the heck can't sit there and try to listen to it.
Oh no,
And
because you
that's how I
can.
felt.
She could be on there 8 hours and just say you did listen to her for 8 hours. You
Oh
might
my
get
gosh.
10 minutes of truth out of 8 hours.
I would rather be in a padded room.
I know. I know. I couldn't do it either. I could not. I cannot. I cannot. I can only listen to her boomhow herself for so long, and then I can't.
Right. Yep.
And
And
never say
because
what.
you can't make out to say anyway. You know, she tries to talk in code and you're sitting there like cross-eyed
Mm-hmm.
by two sentences, you know, like the first two sentences and you're like, "What the heck? What?"
They're all math. They're all math heads.
That's right. Allegedly. I heard.
Yeah, cause and then she'll go and I'm like, what?
Yes.
I
Even the
can't.
captions are saying, "What?"
I can't. I can't do the mumbling. I cannot. Yeah, I
Yep.
can't. I mean, I will if I have to. If you're like, okay, you've got to watch this. Ugh. Okay, so
Yeah.
how long do I have to watch it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Yep.
I mean, I want to be able to watch it and get something out of it, but I haven't. Her record for talking for long hours of the time and not saying anything is pretty good. So
Well,
I don't.
and she like her tone really fluctuates. She's the
Yeah,
same monotone
yeah.
voice the entire time. And I mean, God forbid she opened her mouth and, you know, move it.
I know.
Um, then maybe the words would make more sound, I guess. I don't know. It's just, it's so hard for me and I can't do it. But with Marlena, so I was hearing her this that I hear in JSB. And so I shut her off. Well, I heard a clip today, actually, um, of where she had been confronted. My mod Leah, yeah, Leah had asked the question. Um, you had originally said that can at 4:37 p.m., but then you had changed it to 7:30 p.m. Well, she tried to walk it back.
Hmm.
And from what I understood, I mean, it was only, I think, 4 minutes of it was clipped. So I struggled through the 4 minutes. I held it down for 4 minutes. Okay.
Hmm.
What she was saying was that Candace called her on Facebook at 4:37 p.m., but she missed the call. And then she returned her call at 7:30. But here's where she fudged it all up because she said Candace was in the kitchen fixing food for the boys and she hadn't called police yet. Well, we
What?
all know by 7:30 p.m. Ben Hill was flooded. Beach Creek was
Hmm.
flooded with law enforcement. So that's
Hmm.
a crock of
Yeah,
sugar. I'm sorry.
yeah. I hadn't heard that. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
why would you be making food for the boys when most probably they fix food for themselves? Is what I'm thinking.
right,
But
right.
why would you be making food for them when you've got a missing child?
Yeah, at 7:30.
Yeah.
And she said that she had been looking for Summer. See, that's what makes me think that she lied. And she was trying to say that Candace called her at 4:30, and maybe she did. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's quite possible that she did
Right.
because she said that she had been missing for a short time. I forget what she said. Look, I didn't pay that close attention. Okay. She
Right.
said she had been missing for some odd minutes and she said, "Have you called the police?" I said, "No." And she said, "I want to look for, you know, another 10 or 20 minutes before I call." And Marlena allegedly said, "If you don't call law enforcement, then I will, but you got to call them." She said, "I'm going to search for a little bit longer and then I will." But that was allegedly at 7:30, which we know is a flat out lie.
Yeah.
So,
Because law enforcement should have been there.
right. Well, they were there. Law
Yeah.
enforcement showed up at a couple minutes after 7.
Right.
So, well, I'm too honest for this. If you missed it, I know exactly where I saw the clip. It's in my history. If Tammy wants me to play it, I can.
Of what Candace was talking or what Marlena was just talking about.
Yes.
What is this? Yeah, I want you to play that so we can see it. But what is this fight about? There was a fight between PG and Mari and one of the mods. Uh-oh.
What?
In their lot and PG's live?
Row?
Uh-oh.
About what? What happened?
Yes.
See,
Okay.
I don't ever watch PG. I haven't watched PG
Me
since
neither.
she debuted on Ziggy's panel. Okay, like I don't watch her at
Yeah,
all.
I've never watched her. I don't think I'm subscribed to her either. Well, I know I'm not.
I'm not either.
Maiden. Oh, you knew that would have to happen after she made enough. Yeah, it's about all about money, ain't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we tired of
Okay.
cons. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. So, Mandy, if you want to show that clip, you can. If it's easy for
Yep,
you to get to.
I am. Now it's on TM's channel,
She's ridiculous.
and I'm not subscribed to her either, but
One of the mods found out some stuff about Marlena. Oh,
okay. I want to go down to.
well,
Oh,
it
there's
should
a heck.
be a surprise to them. I mean, if it was disappointing, it shouldn't have been a big surprise.
Where's the original comment? Um,
There's a lot. I was
okay,
telling
well,
Mandy, there's a lot of people live tonight. So
oh yeah.
normally on Wednesday nights there isn't that many people. So I thought, but Wednesday nights is my usually the night that I can do it. It's easier
Right.
for me.
I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm
No,
trying to
you're good.
find
We're not dealing with
the
scholars.
comment.
Everybody in that area knows everybody else's business. Yep, yep. Especially there because they act like it kills me because in the interviews that Don does, he contradicts himself so much because he's like, we didn't know how bad this area was, but then he says, "Oh, this area is bad."
Right, he can't decide.
Yeah, he can't
Okay.
decide, and it's like we don't know all the neighbors. Well, we know all the neighbors, okay? Which I mean, it's one
Right.
way or the other. I mean,
Yep. Make up your mind.
yeah.
Okay, so when I record, I recorded it. Luckily, I guess because the comment on here. Okay, wait, maybe it wasn't. Oh, it wasn't this one. Okay. It was the one after this one. So I watched this one and then I watched the next one. So I think we're going to have to watch the next one also to be able to get the full story.
Okay.
Because this one is called "The Day Summer Went Missing. Candace called Marlena between 4 and 4:30 to tell her," says Marlena Crawford. Okay, so we'll put it on 1.25.
You're right.
And
I don't know how somebody hadn't taught him either.
and like I said, and this is on TM's channel, so I'll drop the link in the chat so that we're doing full fair use and all that stuff. But
Okay.
okay, here we go. Let me know if you can't hear it. You should be able
Okay.
to.
Did you want to tell them about that or not,
Yes,
Marlena?
I can hear.
Are you talking about
Okay.
when Summer called me, or not Summer? Candace called me at 4:30 that afternoon. It was on Facebook, and she had told me that she was in the kitchen cooking them kids something to eat, and Summer was on her swing, and she looked out the window and turned around to the kitchen sink, and Summer was gone. In most videos, you all have seen that Summer's swing is on that big old tree, and if you look at the window, that straight window that's from that tree to the side of the house there on the tree is on the right hand side with the swing. The left hand side, that window that's in the middle right there towards the end, that is the kitchen. If you stand in the kitchen at the stove or at the sink or whatever, right there in that one little area, you could see if somebody snuck up on that hill to get her, like they said she did. And she knew better. Like I said, I'm going to repeat this one more time. Them kids knew better to go off of that hill at any point in any time. Okay, at 4 o'clock, she calls me and tells me Summer is missing. I tell her, I said, well, how long she been missing? She said, maybe 20 minutes or so. I said, well, call the police. If not, I am calling them. And she said, well, I'm going to get off here and call them, and I'm going to look for Summer some more. I said, okay, well, let me know if you found her. Well, she didn't. So it came out that Dawn said that he drove from Jonesboro to Beach Creek in like 20 minutes or so. No, that's not.
Okay. What?
I remember that because now keep in mind, she said those kids never go, they're not allowed to leave. They stay right where they're supposed to be. And that,
Mm-hmm.
now, and then she says right opposite later on.
Right.
I'm like, which one is it?
Right.
Exactly. She said, she told PG, so Marlena and the Ma got into the fight on PG panel. Marlena got mad, left, then came back, got into another fight. PG asked her to leave the panel.
Oh, dang. Well,
don't
that may
ask.
be worth watching.
Just boot her. You don't have to ask. All you got to do is say, boot. Say bye. I know.
Unless
Summer has been forgotten. Yep. That's why one of the reasons when I started my channel, Mandy and Cher was like, we think Summer would be great for you to start with because we feel like she's been forgotten. And they were right. They were right. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's not possible. That is not possible at all. There's too many curvy roads. There's too much going on at that time. You're not going to get from there at 3 or 4 o'clock still with the school buses running and all that within 20 minutes. You're not going to do that. So therefore also I heard one 911 call say that she went for a walk. That hussy never went for a walk. Candace, aka Candace, she never walked anywhere. She always rode somewhere, whether it was on a mini bike, in a vehicle, whatever. She never walked anywhere.
Even Candace told us that she doesn't walk anywhere when she did her interview on the news.
And I believe that. I mean, that's one honest thing she said, I believe. She's like, I don't walk nowhere. I don't go for walks.
Do you know if she went for a walk? If she went for a walk, she'd have to put a bra on to carry those things around. Okay, she couldn't.
Probably more people wish she would walk because she doesn't bathe as well. You don't want to be in the same vehicle, but there's that.
Well, that's true. But, I mean, as long as she has her own vehicle, I guess. But
I guess. Maybe that's why they never went together anywhere.
Right, right.
Apparently. I don't know. That's what we've heard.
Well, I know when Dawn did show up at the vigils, they drove separately. So
yeah.
Oh, buddy. Okay.
Okay, when I was talking about the swing and standing there in the kitchen or whatever, them dogs, there was I know there was like 2 mothers and maybe a male or maybe 1 male or maybe 2 males, and then they had a litter of pups or whatever. If somebody came sneaking up on that hill and they would have tried to get Summer, them dogs would have been standing around Summer and out from Summer, barking and raising hell if somebody tried to sneak up on that hill, or if anybody ever got close enough to them kids, because them kids fed them and them kids took care of the dogs. So they had chores they had to do. So them dogs would have raised somebody, would have got somebody's attention. And where Grandma was sitting at that time when it was told that she was fixing her making a flower garden, there is no flower garden there. There's never been no flower garden there because the rocks up on that hill, for one. For two,
we knew that already.
Yeah, right.
We saw the weeds.
This is true.
That nice little weed collection. I'm too honest with this.
Poor who was it, Paw Patrol? He was lost in the weeds.
And Chase is on the case.
That's right. I think Don said Candace walk around looking for Summer. That's how that started. Oh, maybe. Yeah. What? Candace couldn't walk in a circle with the map.
That's what I was laughing about. And how rude of me. I didn't say hi. Hi, Mimi Jean. Hi, Eve. Hi, I'm too honest for this. Oh my.
Sister was in here earlier, but she might have had to step out or something. But she was in here.
Well, it says that there's 11 people watching. I hope everybody has made out with the thumbs up.
They have not.
I was number 4.
There's 6 that have made out with the thumbs up.
Well, 2 people got my sloppy seconds. But I got 3 people sloppy seconds before me. Okay.
And I love people in the bushes because I stay in the bushes. So
Yes.
I am not going to say anything about people being in the bushes.
That's
The
right.
fight started because some old man named Jimmy Long said Don put Summer in Knoxville rehab. What? For 4 years she's been in a Knoxville rehab? What?
She was 5. Barely. She'd only been 5 for 4
What's she
months.
in a rehab for?
Right.
Now, Jimmy Long, have y'all heard? Has anybody in chat heard that name before?
I haven't.
I have not heard that name before.
And I'm too honest for this. I love sarcasm. Keep it up. Okay? Keep it up. I love it.
Sarcasm. Wow. I have not. No, you haven't either, Eve. Yeah. Let's see. The mod was talking to Jimmy and he said he was sleeping with Marlena.
Oh, heck.
Dang,
Well,
Peachy's got it all going over there on her channel. My goodness.
That just added it to a whole different level of Jerry Springer now.
Oh my God. Oh crap, come on now.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh man, she's got the Jerry Springer. She needs to change it. She needs to change her channel name. She's got it, sex lies and alibis and math.
Throwing chairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know they're throwing chairs over there at each other.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Another.
Right. See, she can call her channel JS and be in the algorithm when people search for JSB.
Yeah.
Like her channel would pop up first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
Should be ahead of her.
Yeah, she would take over all of JSB's viewers that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's missing out. See, look, we're just trying to help a girl out.
But Marlena said he goes with friends with Fred's sister and was in jail for 25 years. Well, then how would he know where Summer went if he's been in jail? How old is this man? He goes with Fred's sister. Okay.
Well, yeah,
the daddy is.
They'll have to go to Maury after they all get done boinking each other.
Ugh.
Hi, Diane.
I just listened to her. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Diane. How are you? 64? He's 64 years old? Okay.
He was sleeping with who? Marlena?
More hillbilly love story. Something.
I know there's going to be a Reddit thread about this somewhere.
I
said, I know there's got to be a Reddit thread about this somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, did he just come out of jail and he's, or prison or wherever he was at, and just need to insert himself into something?
Right.
Very amusing, I bet.
I may have to watch PG for the first time ever in life, okay? I'm just saying. That could be quite interesting.
And some other kind of drama to add to Summer's story that's probably not even, it doesn't it hold no, water or anything. It's just another drama thing for
Right.
Summer story. Something else to bury her name in.
Yep.
I've been
Well,
doing
yeah.
great. Mandy, that's for
That,
you. I'm doing great. Hope you and Mandy are doing great. I am.
I am on panel right now with my good friend Tammy. I am doing fantabulous. Okay? I am here with all you good people. Fan freaking tabulous.
He also said something about Summer and Grassy Creek.
Well, I'm sure he would know. I mean, I'm sure, Summer's whereabouts were floating all over the prison.
What kind of grass is he talking about? With some math to raise the party. Oh, geez, another learn. Yeah, that's what I'm. Just something else to
Yep.
add.
Well, you got to make the money, okay? Like, seriously, that's what we're doing wrong, Tammy. We don't have all this new drama to share with these good people.
I guess. I guess I'll stay broke then.
That's right. That's why PG is over there rolling in the dough, because she has all this new, exciting drama.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't. I can't do the drama.
And she's doing it all for
you're,
Summer.
you're gonna have drama, some drama. You can't.
Well, yeah.
Especially with a missing child or anybody missing, there's gonna be some drama that comes with it, but you don't have to have all the other. You know what I mean?
No.
That's unnecessary.
My issue, like, I can handle, some drama because drama's normal. That's life. You're going to have people that
Right.
disagree. You're going to have people telling different stories because they have different versions. They have different perspectives. That's normal.
Yeah.
But when you have manufactured bullshit, that's where I draw the line.
Right. Right. Mandy, you always have good energy. I'm too honest for me, says.
Well, thank you so much. I try.
Now my head hurts like hell. Oh,
right?
Me.
Girl, I get it.
You know what? I do too. I'm too honest. I wonder about that also. Yeah. Yep. Good thing you do not do drama much. Enjoy. Yeah, I don't. I never have. I don't like it over there on my tarot channel. I don't do it. I've never done it. That's why I'm so little. Because I'm just not going to do it.
Yep.
So then I just stay little and unmonetized. And Andy B knows where that is, he said in chat. He did. He gave directions to get to it. Really?
Well, Andy B thinks that Summer's in the cemetery.
I was saying, why did he give? He must have. Well, I guess I shouldn't say this. In my opinion, allegedly, for him to give such good directions and send them right over there, he must not have a fear of her being found. Or they have looked there before. Have they already searched that area? Actual searchers and law enforcement, not Don. I don't think Don searched anywhere, has he? Let's see what we got. The dumbest story was the girl in the woods with mules or some. Yeah, like really, could it be more ridiculous? Yeah.
Am I still here?
You're here. You're here now. I couldn't hear you a while ago, but I can hear you now.
Okay, I
Oh,
had the
wait, hold
circle on
the
my screen.
oh wait, hold the shine. It's coming.
Ooh, buddy, the moonshine.
Yeah.
If
Mm,
Andy, I was trying to say, if Andy knew where Summer was, he
mhm.
has already interviewed with law enforcement
Yeah.
enough times. He even called Pruitt not long ago that I'm sure if he had any idea where
Yeah.
she was, he would have already told law enforcement and they would have
Yeah.
already found her.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He has no fear of her being found there
Right.
if he gave directions that quick and that easy. AB was in there. Don Wells was in there, and that Jimmy, but no one would go on panel. Really? Is that the first time Don Wells has been on a panel in a while? Hey Don, are you lurking over here?
I don't know. I don't. It must be time to update my Wi-Fi. And it seems to do this around the same time every night.
Oh, oh, I know, Eve. Yeah, I know. It's just amazing that all those people were in chat.
Yeah,
But
we're not going to shoot the messenger.
oh no, I'm glad you told us. That's good. I'm
Yes.
glad you told us because I don't listen to her, so I wouldn't know it.
Yep.
That's why a lot of
Same.
the drama that goes on. Like I was telling Eve when we first got in here, I said I see the streets were lit today. They were busy because when I turned on my computer, because I hadn't been on it all day, it was just all kinds of stuff that
Mm-hmm.
like court appearances were today, and somebody got a case of the what, and
Mm-hmm.
CP got told off, and it's hard to not see that stuff because it's a lot of it's out there. But
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the drama, I don't know about what they say unless somebody says, "Hey, this happened here." You know what I mean?
Right.
So if Eve doesn't, if Eve hadn't have told me that, I would have never known that happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either. I really don't watch PG at all.
Yeah,
There's a few channels that I know a lot of people watch. I do not watch.
yeah. I can't help but wonder if they know how utterly ridiculous they are making themselves look. I know.
As long as they're getting money in their pocket, I don't think they care.
Yeah, that's true. No, Don has been on other. Has he? I just didn't. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Has he been quiet for a while, or has he actually been on panels lately?
Last I heard, his keeper wasn't letting him get on any panels. I mean, oops.
That did you say that?
Dang it. I thought I was on mute. Darn it.
You thought your Wi-Fi was going out at that time,
Yes. Yes. The one time the Wi-Fi works. Dang
right?
it.
The minute people to miss and missing Chelsea. Yep. How do they live with themselves? I don't know.
I couldn't do it.
When Don
There's no
Wells
way.
is, Andy is there. I do know that. Really? So they're always there together, is what you're saying? Dumb and Dumber, which is right. Yeah. I just learned to see what comes up. Yep. I don't know if Cher knows about the little fight over there.
What little fight?
Well, apparently Don Wells and Andy and this other gentleman were over in PG's chat.
Yeah. And BG and Marlene are. Yeah. Oh yeah. All hell's breaking loose.
Yeah,
Well,
we
fill us
didn't.
in.
Actually, I'm popping up here right now to tell you and Mandy. You didn't share this. Did you share the link out with anyone else, or just me and Mandy tonight?
Jody Sue.
What?
I didn't share this link. I shared the other one. The short. You told me to share it with her.
I told you to share it with Jody Sue.
You told me to hashtag her in it, and I did.
Oh, well, that's not sharing it with
That's
her.
not sharing.
I didn't share it with anybody.
No, like the link to come up on panel tonight.
No. It's not been dropped or anything. No.
So it's just me and Mandy that have it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can you make sure then not to let anyone else up? Because I can't stay, but I'm going to put some important things that I want to share with only you two.
Yes. Yeah.
So you know what I'm working on. But yeah. You might be shocked, you might not be. So just
No,
I don't want anyone else to see what I'm putting in this private chat.
well, I don't want. I don't
Oh,
like.
okay.
You guys can kind of like hint, like you'll be able to think of some things you can tell the chat without giving it away. I don't want anybody to know, just you. And I told Justin and Mark, of course, knows. That's it. That's the only people that are going to know.
Okay.
I'm not going to be putting it on my channel or anything right now.
Okay. I won't say anything.
All right.
I won't say anything, but I don't like dropping my link because I never know who's going to try to jump up there, and I'm not real comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
And we
nobody
haven't taught
has,
you how to authenticate it yet.
huh? No,
We
I don't know how
haven't
to
taught.
do that yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that yet. Yeah. So I won't be dropping the link. No. If somebody asked me for the link, it would be I would have to physically send it to them.
Yeah, that's how we've done it before, just emailing it.
Yeah.
Mimi Jean said that's not nice.
What's this? Gentlemen, somehow I doubt it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen a gentleman around Summer's case in quite some time.
Eve said hello, Cher. Me to Eve.
Hi, Eve. I'm not looking, so I'm typing. I think you guys are gonna be. Maybe you won't be shocked. No, maybe you will.
We'll let you know. You just keep on
Okay,
typing.
yeah.
Right.
You want me to finish playing this video real quick
Yeah,
so we
go
can get
ahead.
to the next one?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Where grandma and her was sitting to fix the knee brace. If she went out the basement door, they would have been able to see her. And three, if there was somebody coming up on that hill on that side from the basement door and all that, they would have been able to see them. That's what people don't understand. The way that hill is laid out up there, I don't know if Miss PG, if you've been up there or not, but the way that hill's been laid out up there is nobody can get around that hill because it's a horseshoe. It can see, it's on top of a hill. Everybody can see everything that goes on from up there on that hill. You can even stand up on that hill and watch the main road that goes up and down Beach Creek without nobody even knowing that you're standing there. But I'm saying you're not going to miss nothing because you're up on that hill, and everybody has to come up, not go down or sideways. You got to go up the hill to get to that house. So therefore, if anybody snuck around up there or whatever, them dogs would be raising Cain. Outrageous. They wouldn't have got by grandma and mama because them dogs would have been raising Cain. And like I said, she would have never basement door by herself and down the hill because she knew better. The only way she got to the bottom of the hill is if somebody had took her down to the bottom of the hill with their hand and holding their hand and making her go. That's the only way that she would have went.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun.
Mm-hmm.
Not sideways.
Yeah,
Go up that hill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
4
So
years. This might not be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the other one. Let's see. Okay, now this is the other one. This is the one where Leah left the comment. And see, I watched these three, but come on. Here we go. I want to read the comment first before, because Leah's comment is important. Okay. So we'll open that up and we'll open that up. Okay. So Leah said this was the question she was trying to read. Okay. Marlena Crawford said Candace Wells called her 6:15, June 15th, at nighttime, 7:30 p.m. But 3.5 years later says Candace her daytime at 4:37 p.m. Why such a time difference? What changed her recollection? So then she said, because it was my question I had ready to paste into chat, just clarifying here, stumbled over when she attempted it. And you're going to hear she struggled with it. I meant to ask a follow-up question and ask if she followed up with Candace after June 15th to see if Candace had any new information about Summer or not. I'll ask next time. And then this one, Marlena's via a live on the 12th this month. Marlena said, quote, I checked in maybe one time after that. Otherwise, she said law enforcement came to her and asked her questions, and she got her info from the news about the case. Okay, so now we know what the actual question is that she's trying to read in the beginning, and then we're going to hear her answer. And the video is only 2 minutes and 34 seconds long, so I'm going to try to let it just play through so we can hear all of her answer at once, because it's wild.
Wow.
You ready?
I'm
It's
ready.
wild. All right. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Just Wells called her at 6:15 at night. 7:30. That was 5 years later. Why was Candace Wells calling her the day at 4:37? Why I can't see the rest of it. Why such time difference? What changed in her recallings? Just want to know. No.
It wasn't her recallance, it was her recollection. Sorry.
Oh, the time was took from my phone that she called the first time at 4:37 exactly. I called her back at 6:15 to see if she wanted me to help look for her. And she said no, that they wouldn't let nobody else look for her. And I didn't hear from her again until later that night, and then they never found her. So it's not a recallance. It's that my phone was took in by the police. My phone was took in by the police. My phone was took in by the police. So they know everything. So it's not that I'm putting something out here that it's not true. LG, I did tell the truth. I did say that she called me before the police was missing. LG, I did tell the truth. I did say that she called me before the police was missing. I did say that she called me before the police was missing. She was in the kitchen. She said she was in the kitchen fixing something to eat. Summer was at the swing. She turned around, looked out the window. Summer wasn't there. Then at 4:37, she called me and told me she was gone. And I said, then at 4:37, she called me and told me she was gone. And I said, just like PG said, what do you mean she's gone? They knew better than come off of that hill. They knew better to go off that hill by themselves. So where is she? I don't know, Candace said. I said, well, have you looked for her? We've been looking for her now over 35 to 45 minutes. I don't know where she's at. I said, well, call the police. She said, I don't know. I'm going to look for her for a few more minutes. I said, no, if you don't call the police, I am calling her right now. She said, okay.
Oh, wait a minute, back up.
Do what? Do what?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. It must have been somebody on the video then. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought
I heard
it
it.
was.
I heard somebody say, wait a minute, back up. I heard that, but it wasn't me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Well, I would have thought
calling
the same
them
thing.
right now. She said,
Oh,
okay.
wait a minute, back up.
And Candace also knows that I know that she called me at 4. She called me way earlier than when she called her missing. Period.
So which is it?
People
Yeah.
just act like I don't know, and I do know, and that's the sad part. And they know. That's why they're doing this stuff to me, because they know I know. That's why they're doing this stuff to me, because they know I know. Period.
But didn't she just say they don't think I know? But they know she knows.
Period.
Oh, there goes
Did
period.
you say that in the text? I mean, in the email share?
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
Oh, is that to her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam, I finally caught a live. I'm usually part of the replay crew. Love to all three of you ladies. I so much enjoy each
LD,
of
I
your
did.
channels. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. We're glad you're here. And
Understand?
I appreciate it if it's on replay or you're here. Either way, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
So she said both in this clip. She said she called at
Look at
4:37
look in the
and she
private chat, guys, quick. Sorry.
and
Sorry
she
to interrupt. But
she
don't
called
say it
at
out loud.
4:37 and then called her back at 7:30.
Yes.
So
Called her back now.
she said that Candace called her at 4:37 on Facebook and told her that Summer was missing way before she called the police. But then she said she talked to her at 7:30,
It doesn't.
not at 4:30. Played the last 10 seconds again. I almost feel like I need to play the whole thing again so Cher can hear it too, because this is all of her lies in 2 minute and 2.5 minute video, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play it again. Cher, I want you to listen to it, and
Okay.
then that way I can read
Go ahead.
chat.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
ready? Is Mark listening too?
Yep. And he's in here too.
Okay,
Then
because
after this, you check private chat, but don't
yeah,
say anything out loud.
I'm gonna read private chat while you and Mark are listening.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, here. Yes, I'm too honest for this. We can play the last 10 seconds as many times as you need us to also, okay? Okay. All right, here we go.
Marlena said Candace Wells called her at 6:15 at night. 7:30. That was 3-5 years later. Why was Candace Wells calling her the day at 4:37? Why I can't see the rest of it. Why such time difference? What changed in her recallings? Just want to know. No. The time was took from my phone that she called the first time at 4:37 exactly. I called her back at 6:15 to see if she wanted me,
Yeah.
and she said no, that they wouldn't let nobody else look for her. And I didn't hear from her again until later that night, and then they never found her. So it's not a recallance. It's that my phone was took in by the police. My phone was took in by the police. My phone was took in by the police. So they know everything. So it's not that I'm putting something out here that it's not true. LG, I did tell the truth. I did say that she called me before the police was missing. LG, I did tell the truth. I did say that she called me before the police was missing. I did say that she called me before the police was missing. She was in the kitchen. She said she's in the kitchen fixing something to eat. Summer was at the swing. She turned around, looked out the window. Summer wasn't there. Then at 4:37, she called me, told me she was gone. And I said, then at 4:37, she called me, told me she was gone. And I said, just like PG said, what do you mean she's gone? They knew better than come off of that hill. They knew better to go off that hill by themselves. So where is she? I don't know, Candace said. I said, well, have you looked for her? We've been looking for her now over 35 to 45 minutes. I don't know where she's at. I said, well, call the police. She said, I don't know. I'm going to look for her for a few more minutes. I said, no, if you don't call the police, I am calling them right now. She said,
So,
okay. And
wait
then
a
I didn't
minute,
know
wait a
that she
minute,
was
wait a
missing. So I
minute.
said,
Back up.
and Candace also knows that I know that she called me she called me way earlier than when she called her missing. Period.
There goes the period.
People just act like I don't know, and I do know, and that's the sad part. And they know. That's why they're doing this stuff to me, because they know I know. That's why they're
Oh,
doing this stuff to me, because they know I know. Period.
Period.
they know. They don't think I know, but they know I know. You know that, right?
That's right.
You heard all. You heard it. She called me before the police were missing. Miss your line, Marlena. Well, because Candace said that she was helping her mom, and Summer was supposed to have been inside the house, but the boys told her she was in the basement in the playroom playing with the toys, which we know is the dungeon. So, which story was it? Is it Marlena's story or is it Candace's story? Mm-hmm.
Well, and
Marlena.
look, Cher bounced out. Like, was the video that bad? I mean, I know that she was a liar, but dang.
Dang.
Like, Cher couldn't even stay and share her thoughts about it? My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not true.
That's right, it's not true.
25-8. Okay. Yeah. What's she say? Right here.
The
Hold on.
boys said Summer was outside.
Yeah.
Well,
And
didn't that come from JSB though?
I don't know where that came from.
I thought JSB said that the boys told her when they were searching for Summer that they were either playing hide and go seek or she was swinging on the swing or something. But I remember that, and I thought it came from her.
The one thing they all are saying was if Summer was on the swing, they would have known it if somebody had to come up because of the dogs. That's been said by a couple of different people.
Yeah, but according to Dawn, those dumb dogs weren't there.
Right.
They all took the day off.
So, and there's another thing that's different.
Yes.
No mention of speaking to Marlena at all. So who's lying? Better yet, who isn't lying? Right. In her story, she never mentioned speaking to her, did she? When she told the cops, law enforcement, or the 911 call, whatever was made, she never said anything about calling Marlena, did she? So the cops said that the boys said that Summer was on her swing. Is that what you're saying, Mimi Jean?
Where did they say that, Miss Mimi Jean?
According to Don, he wasn't there. Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
Dawn was hanging out with the dogs.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
He was on the dog trail.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he was at. Mm-hmm. Because he told you what he'd be down that dog trail in 25 seconds.
Well, yeah, that's because him and his buddy were carrying dog food bags on their shoulder and running up and down the hill.
Yeah, why would you have to do that? I don't know. But anyway, that's what he was. 25 seconds, he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Candace told Chris if Summer went out the door, she would only go to her swing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. On vacation.
That's why there was a worn path in the grass onto the dirt from the back door around towards the swing.
Yeah. Nobody came up on that hill and got her.
Absolutely not.
Nobody came up on that hill and got her. Now, would I believe more? I'm not saying I believe Marlena, but I believe more that Marlena said that somebody would come up the hill and took her off that she knew, and she would go with them because she knew them. Now that is more believable than saying somebody just come up there and got her.
Yeah, it's more believable, but it's still not.
No, I know it's not. No, but it sounds more believable than say, well, somebody come up here, a total stranger come up here and got her.
Right.
That's what?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Wait, Mimi Jean said, no, I thought someone said the boys told the cops. I don't know. They told somebody that, I believe.
I think it was JSB saying it from the beginning.
It might have been. I thought the boys said that. Yeah, dogs are vacation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, you heard Candace tell Chris M about that. Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, it goes back to the original question you asked me when I first got up here. Who isn't lying?
Mm-hmm.
I still don't have an answer for you.
Mm-mm. I can't even
Mm.
say law enforcement isn't lying.
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that they're doing something shady. I'm just saying.
They're allowed to lie. So
Yeah. Yep.
Mimi Jean. That's me.
Mimi Jean. I told you me.
Mm.
We know you're not lying, Mimi Jean. Yeah, I don't either. Eve.
I don't either.
Mm.
I don't either. He took an oath, and that didn't include unless my own son fudges up.
Right. Mimi Jean.
So
So
we're reviewing more of Dawn's initial stories tonight,
yeah,
right?
right. We are. So we will get to hear his interview and what he has to say. I think this is starting, like I was telling them earlier. Um, I think this is starting where he's talking about how the history's been made with all the people that came out there and looked for Summer and all of that. I think that's where this one starts. I feel in my gut, not that I expect that to matter to y'all, but those are not cops. They are good old boys who protect each other no matter how. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yep.
I mean, that's been alleged many times. You know,
Mm,
they'll cover up the most heinous crimes down there. So
yeah.
I mean, allegedly,
Mm-hmm.
but that just comes from some of the locals that live down there. So what do we know? You know?
Right. Yeah. And it didn't help that his son got arrested for what he got arrested for. So that doesn't help his case at all. You know,
Mimi Jean, what do you do all over again? What do we need to rewind time? If I could turn back time for Mimi Jean. Oh, and okay, Allie told the story about when Candace called her on June 15th, and she said when Candace called her, she called on FaceTime also on Facebook Messenger,
mm-hmm.
and she said that she was pacing in the basement and law enforcement was at her house, and she refused to go out there and talk to law enforcement. And that's when she told Allie that Summer was missing.
Candace refused to go out there and talk to him.
Yes, that's what Allie said. She said she was on FaceTime with Candace, and Candace, you know, pacing in the basement in the dungeon, and she kept playing with her hat. She had a hat on, and she kept playing with her hat. And she said that the police were there, and Allie said, well, don't you need to go talk to him? And she said no, she wasn't going to talk to him. She was
Why
hiding
not?
in the basement. Well, heck if I know.
Afraid she'd
I
give
mean,
herself away.
right? I mean,
I'm
if
too
my
much.
child was missing, God forbid, and I
Mhm.
was the last person to see my child, I would be telling the police, like, I would be up in their face. They would be like, okay, Mandy, bitch, you got to step back.
They
Like,
would
you
tell
are
me
invading.
they would tell me TMI, too much information. I don't need to know all that. I'll be like, yeah, you do. You need to know it all. You need to know every bit of it.
That's right. You need to be emotionally invested in this child,
Mhm.
okay?
I'm too honest for you, is singing with you.
I saw that.
Flipping her hat according to Allie. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Remember that.
And she did that interview on
Yep.
Unmasked.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you notice she doesn't do a lot of interviews, but she sure did a lot when Dawn was in jail. Apparently, I didn't see him, but I heard she had her own channel and she did a lot of
Oh my
live.
gosh.
I don't know if she did. I never seen any of them. I don't know.
Well, Tammy, if you want to scroll through my hundreds of videos that I made on Summerwell's case,
Well, since we've been given, go ahead.
I made a video about every big panel that she would, like, every big thing that happened when she was on a panel.
Mhm.
So there were some times that, like, I didn't clip when she was on panel with Benny, flirting with him, trying to get in his pants and singing and wearing hats and all that. Like, I didn't make a video about those. I
Right.
made a video when she was on different panels, like when she was on Cam and Allie's panel and she kissed her cross necklace. When she said, "Summer is here with me." When she was on another panel, I can't remember the guy's name. He was kind of a fly-by-night channel that was only around for Summerwell's just for a minute,
Yeah.
from my perception.
Mhm.
But she was on his panel, and she said that she just wasn't in love with Donnie no more. She
I heard.
still loved him,
Mhm.
but she wasn't in love with him no more. Now, she said that on Cam and Allie's panel too, but she said it on this other guy's panel too. So that, I think, is where I got that screenshot of her face where you asked what she was trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's where that one came from.
Yeah.
But, like, seriously, I clipped and made a video about when Dawn and Candace both were on panel, the time that Dawn went up on Ziggy's panel and called her the N-word and called all of us words. And I made a video about that. So, I mean, memory lane, I think there's like 300 and some videos
Mhm.
in my Summerwell's playlist of just videos that I made.
Mhm. Well, I mean, since we've put Dawn on the spotlight for the last 12 weeks, whenever y'all want to put Candace up here, y'all let me know, and we'll put her. We'll do some videos on her.
Heck yeah.
If that's what chat wants. If y'all want to review what she has to say. I mean, I would try to review Jody Sue Brown if y'all really wanted to. I would be like, okay,
Woo, buddy.
but that would be, we'd have to have a drink afterwards because, I can't say that no more. I need to quit saying that because I got in trouble last time I said it.
Well, it's just figuratively speaking.
Right.
Afterwards, we just need to unwind.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is go in the house and get a drink when I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Right.
I mean, I'm not that anyway.
Mm-mm.
So
last time I drank, it was on New Year's Eve, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that.
I have like a glass of champagne, on New Year's Eve, but sometimes. But I probably haven't done that, and it's probably been about 5 or 6 years since I done that.
Oh, well, I got a buzz. Like, I was live streaming on my art channel, and I decided I wanted to ring in the new year with everybody.
Really?
Yes, girl. I don't even remember what drink it was, but I drank 2 drinks, and I was toast.
You was arting it up and drinking?
Yes.
I want to see the art from that night.
I don't remember that night. I only had 2 drinks.
Yeah, see, when you don't drink, it does that. It would do that to me too, probably.
Yeah.
They
The
are
headache
both evil, in
day.
my opinion. The only thing they leave in their path is damaged children. That I'm too honest for that. That's true. Uh-oh. Mindy must have booted herself off. She'll be back. Everyone believe what Jose says, but I don't. You know, he wasn't in the picture for very long. It was like, like a short time that he was there. And I really don't know what to think about him. I would have to, um, other than, him being like, because he was only like around like when Don was gone for that little time, he was there, right? And then was he staying with Allie?
Who is it?
Jose.
No. So he came into town with Andrew, and Andrew went back to New York. He didn't want to go back. So he talked to Allie and asked Allie to help him out. Allie asked Candace if he could stay there. Candace said sure. Then when barreling home and they got into a fight and all of that happened. Hi, Seclusion Works.
Seclusion. We appreciate
And
you.
then Grandma Candy took him, I think, to maybe North Carolina while Don was in jail.
So he wasn't around very long, was he?
No.
I didn't think he was. Well, we appreciate and love you too, Seclusion Works. Thank you for supporting us. We do appreciate you and glad to see you. Let's see. I think there was at least one truth. Yeah, there is some truth. I believe that. I do believe there is some truth in the, as Mandy says, guard novel. Is that what you say, Mandy? How do you say it?
Um,
Garbobble?
no, see, I don't even know. It just snapped out when I feel the kerfunkel. No,
There you go. It's something like that.
something along those lines.
Yeah. How do we really know any of that? Yeah. The move you talking about with Jose? And then there
I don't
was another,
believe any of that.
yeah. And then there was another one, there was apparently another Jose. I don't know if we've gotten to that part yet. And he had that, listen to this. He had the same name, same, first and last name, and it was spelled the same. But he was not the same Jose that had
Right.
a record.
Right.
So that's kind of odd.
Well, that Jose was found when the internet sleuths were trying to look up Jose to find out, his history and anything else they could
Right.
find out about him.
Mhm.
And they found that Jose Roman and labeled the Jose who was at Don and Candace's
There you go.
as kerfuffle.
I know
Isn't that what I said?
it was something like that.
Is that what I said? Did I say kerfuffle?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm telling you, it just comes out naturally when I feel like there's something going on,
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, he was attacked pretty bad because people swore up and down because they showed a record. They showed a registered record, and he said, "That's not me." And they were like, "Yes, it is. It's in black and white. It's right here.
Mhm.
Here's the evidence." And he was like, "That's not me." And
Yeah.
they went at him. But Justin and Chris McDonough and Josh from the lab all tried to clear that up pretty quickly so
Yeah.
that all of that would stop.
Yeah. But they
And
probably
then
wouldn't listen.
people were trying to blame Justin and ICU for it because Justin and the ones who found Jose.
Yeah. Yeah.
it was good to have Jose interviewed and, to hear his side and his view of things, I think that was helpful.
Yeah.
So it
Even
wasn't
if he
their
wasn't around
fault.
very much, he might have seen something. You never know.
Hmm
I
It
believe.
wasn't their fault that
No,
people were ignorant and got the wrong person.
that's right. I believe Summer is missing the Wells are not telling everything. That's true. We do know those two things, don't we?
Yep. See, Mimi
That
Jean doesn't lie.
yeah, that's the truth we do know.
Yep. Yes,
Summer
ICU is good, and
is
ICU
good.
just
Go ahead.
ICU is definitely good, Mimi G. ICU recently had her first grandbaby. I think it's her first. I'm pretty sure it's her first, but I know that she just had a grandbaby, and that's why we haven't seen her as much lately, because she's been spending a lot of her time with her new grandbaby also.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah.
Seclusion, yeah, there's all kinds of red flags. It's just a giant red flag. We love our subs here and we appreciate all of you for being here with us. Thanks for joining us. That is so true, Eve. Thank you.
Eve is so sweet.
The more players come into view, it looks like yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're going to see how far we can get into this interview.
Or I'm going to bring this video up and put it up.
We're an hour and a half into your stream,
And
miss.
we ain't started it yet.
I know.
Not
I
surprised.
just looked
Not surprised. It's okay.
at all. That's just the
It
way it goes, right? We're not
is.
on anybody's time schedule.
Nope.
I think your channel's very much similar to mine.
Mm-hmm.
We just roll with it, and
Yep.
what we cover, and what we don't, we'll cover next time.
That's right. We'll pick it up next week. Yep.
That's right.
So I believe this starts where I said, but we'll see. If not, oh well. Let's just see where it starts.
Okay.
Well, all we know, is there was 106 agents, and nobody's ever seen such a large gathering of law enforcement in one area at one time. It's almost like history was made on this. So, of course, the news media, they're going to get called and everything, but they were set up at the Solomon's Temple Baptist Church out there, church we used to go to. But they set up temporary satellites and all that. And of course, we wanted to try to help any way we could. So we put every picture we had of her online out there. We shared everything we had with media, with everybody. We've been open and honest from the beginning. I always have been. Opened our home. No search warrants were needed ever. They're welcome to come back. But it does, they ripped our house apart several times. But like I said, there were thousands of people on foot. I've seen them guys limping. And I give them, if people don't think I appreciate, the law enforcement, we really do. Because we know they give it their number one best. Had that helicopter flying. I don't know what that cost. At least a week straight, day after day, except for the one day they kept it off there. But when that airplane flying at night with infrared, I can't imagine what the price tag on all that. So I'm very thankful for law enforcement and what they've done. People say we're not, but we are. Okay, all right. I say, one more thing though. If Chris McDonough did start in Utah with Trish's lies and stuff, I think it's possible that would cause, if people actually believe that I was this person that they was making out to be with all these lies that they've been spreading, would that cause somebody to come out here and try to save my daughter from this pretend, this stuff that they've been making up? I think it's very possible. So if somebody has my daughter because they think I was this kind of a person because of the lies that's been spread that aren't true, I'm a loving father. I would never hurt anybody. That's just not me. I try to keep my kids in church and everything so they know what to expect in the future. If you have my kid because of these lies, I think you should come forward and just let it go. I'll do everything I can not to get charges put on you. Just bring my daughter back, please.
Mm.
I never even thought of that, but that makes more sense than some of the other ridiculous theories that are flying around. That's for sure.
Thank you all very much. God bless.
Thank you, Don. I'll be in touch later.
We'll talk to y'all later.
Rest of your day. I'm sorry you have to deal with this.
That's okay. I appreciate you guys for dealing with it with me. All right. God bless y'all. See ya.
Get back to work. Thank you.
God bless you too, Don.
All right. Don Wells here joining us live. So, hey, buddy.
Sorry. Hey, how y'all doing? Can't
Good.
figure out
How are
my
you
phone.
doing?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Doing good.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Hanging in there.
So we cleared up. I showed the picture of the of Summer's puppy there.
Yeah.
You know, people are just jumping at all kinds of conclusions with
Yeah.
everything.
There was a question here I wanted to ask you for somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, they said, do you call like every day to check with law enforcement any news or updates?
Well, as often, I mean, yeah.
Mandy, are you laughing?
Cher made a funny.
She made a funny. Is she in chat?
Oh,
Or you made
no. On,
a video? Okay.
she just asked Don if he was calling every day to check in with
Oh,
law
yeah.
enforcement.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice hair, Don. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Let's see.
oh goodness.
Fun
That was
channel
cute.
and the pure data holds my attention, and that drama I am gravitating towards. Yes, we were talking about that earlier. Seclusion, how there's no drama on here, and we're just not. I'm just not going to have it because it's just too much, and it just takes away from the facts and the things that are going on and what we should be concentrating on. So I just don't do the drama, and I'm not going to do it. And if somebody doesn't come and tell me this happened, like Eve was telling us earlier, I would have never known that, which I'm glad she told us, because I would have not known that had she not put it in chat that it happened, because I don't watch that creator. So yeah, I kind of stay away from the drama. There's channels I used to watch, but there's a lot of drama on them, and so I kind of tend to stay away. Every once in a while, I'll go in and see what's going on, but I'm just not into it.
I watch the drama just to stay up on it, and just so that when people come in and they say, I heard da 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 da, I can say that was a rumor, that was debunked,
Yeah, I get
or
that. Yeah,
just a
I get that.
question.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just like example, Chris Proudfoot going
Right.
up on a panel the other night, freaked out, screaming and yelling, and
Right.
saying that Seth was unaccounted for 2 whole hours at work the night of the 25th, which was a rumor that was started in a text message.
Right.
And when it was shared with a person who was around when it was repeated and recently, and she didn't correct it. But when it was shared originally, she had said, I'm not going to take this as fact because we don't have any proof of it. So,
right.
you know, it's just things like that. So, like, if somebody came in and they were like, oh, Seth was missing from work for 2 hours, I can say, no, that's a rumor.
Right. Right.
So, I watch from the bushes.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I don't go into all the dramas, but every once in a while when I do go, like in Justin's chat, which is not drama. He don't have drama on his, but a lot of times I just watch from the bushes. I think this case is fascinating in testing. I use it to distract. Yep. That's why I'm so happy to find your channel. Oh, I've been watched yours and Mandy's videos up to date. Nice. Well, you've been busy watching Mandy's because Mandy's she's got a lot. But that is so cool. Thank you, Sam. We
What are you trying to
appreciate
say, Tammy?
I'm saying you got a lot. You've been on a lot longer than I mean, you know, I've had YouTube since 2013, but I haven't had a channel that long. So my other channel is just 4 years old. So you've had time to make a lot of videos.
My channel is just 4 years old too, Tammy.
I know.
I'm just teasing.
And I still only have 300 and something videos on my other channel.
Well, see, when you get as many videos as Mandy has, then your sub will higher.
That's right.
No, I make a video about pretty much every major detail in a case that I'm covering. And you do readings on many different cases,
Yeah,
whereas I focus more on specific cases. So
right.
our
Yeah,
channels are different,
yeah. I'm a very logical person. Give me facts, data, and information. If you don't impress me with those items, forget it. Yeah, and I totally get that. I mean,
Yep.
because you get all the other stuff, and it's going to happen. We were talking about that, how drama is just going to happen naturally because drama comes with situations like that. But there's a lot of the crap that just is unnecessary. It's just
That's right.
completely unnecessary. So, and it just takes it. For me, it takes away from the real story, and then you've got law enforcement following this kind of stuff when they need to be putting their attention somewhere else because they don't know if something's going to be said during all this stuff that's going to help them. They have to watch the useless and the good information because you never know when something's going to come out that you're going to need to hear. So but it just takes longer that way.
Yep.
I feel like
I
Mandy has
agree.
some long ones, and I love it. She does have some long ones.
I
Mandy,
do.
you have some
I do.
long ones.
Tell all my secrets, okay? My goodness.
At least
Still,
you are more fortunate than CP is because apparently caterpillars have bigger ones.
that's true. That's
So
the word on the street.
that's the word on the street. So, hey, you know,
I'll take my long ones all day long, okay?
right? All right, here we go.
Oh, all right.
But nothing's changed whatsoever. There's just absolutely nothing. They don't have nothing at all, as far as I can tell. It's just at a standstill.
And how would
As
he
far as I
know
can
that?
tell, it's just not going anywhere. That's why we're
Right?
trying to find other resources and maybe even just trying to go out on our own a little bit and doing what we can because we just ain't got a clue. And I don't think they do either.
Can I ask you something, Don?
Yeah.
Was the Jackie Dobbs guy, was he cleared?
Was who cleared?
Jackie Dobbs. If you can speak on that, I don't want you to speak if you can't.
In case you didn't hear him, he said Jackie Dobbs. Was Jackie Dobbs cleared?
Which
well, he is being cooperative, and with some of the people that we know, and he wants to clear himself up. So he's answering our questions. He's trying to work with us to clear his name, and he's willing to do whatever that takes to do that.
Okay.
And pause for a second, please.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jackie Dobbs is the guy who was unfortunate enough to purchase a piece of land by the Wells and by Jody Sue.
Yeah, he's kind of in the middle, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sparker, thank you. Thank you for. I'm sorry,
of,
Mandy. Thank you,
sorry.
Sparker. Thank you for commenting and coming in, and I appreciate it. And thank you for doing the replay. And have a sweet, peaceful rest. She said,
"Look at you hopping in the chat. I love that."
Good night to you.
I like it when.
There you go.
I like it when the lurkers pop in to chat and
Yeah.
they're like, "I'm jumping out the bushes." See, we don't bite too hard,
She says she's doing laundry. That's a thing tonight. I did laundry earlier, so it must be a laundry Wednesday day for a lot of people.
I'm gonna do my laundry tomorrow. I wasn't able to get it done today, so I have to work on it tomorrow. I'm a procrastinator. I can't help it.
That's okay. I hate laundry, but it's got to be done, right?
Yeah. Well, my grandbaby's almost out of jammies, so clean jammies. So
yeah. So he really didn't. Dobbs really didn't have a whole lot to do with it. he was just by default, he was a neighbor.
Right. And from what I heard, the piece of land that he purchased, he really didn't get he didn't get a good piece of land, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, he never really, like, he came to see the land and he was
Mhm.
basically like ran off the land. So I wonder
Okay.
whatever happened with it.
Like, did he ever sell it or anything? I wonder.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
he wasn't there long at all. Like, I remember Jody Sue talking about how she had gone out and done, what's it called? The surveys herself
Oh
on
yeah,
her
yeah.
property, to tell him where his property was and warm welcome from your new neighbor.
Well, didn't Jody Sue Brown move?
Well, yeah, eventually, but she was
Yeah.
there when he moved in, and her and Andy had been together for years, and that's Andy's family's property that she was
Property.
living on, so
Right. Right.
she didn't make it easy for the new neighbor, is what
Probably
I
not.
guess I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Here we go.
I don't think you can see the chat, but there's lots of people sending you and Candace prayers and love and support, just so you know, in the chat, lots of people.
Yeah, Mr. Wells, if I could just
we
say
really appreciate that. Yeah.
I'm Benny. Nice to finally meet you, sir. We were curious if we could get
Yeah, you
Candace.
too. Good to meet you.
Yes, sir. We were curious if we could get Candace's ring size and then all of the boys' Summers and your birthstones so we could have them made into a ring for her.
Oh boy.
Okay.
You
Sure
can just give
will.
that. You can
Sure
give that
will.
information to Cher, Don.
Yes, sir.
That never happened.
Yeah, just text us
I
later.
was
Okay,
gonna
I appreciate
say, I
I
don't.
texted Candace before.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Yeah, I really appreciate y'all's help, and your interest in Summer. I would do anything in this world, if we could find her. And I just,
Okay. She did land surveillance. Do
Yes.
you know what grants a person complete overview of the land? Do you know
Oh.
that grants a person complete? Oh, no, I didn't know that. Well, that's true. It does, doesn't it?
Well, she did it on her property where she was living, not on Dobbs's property. She
So
went out to put
she wouldn't
she
have
went
paid.
out to
She
put
didn't do it
her
for a living.
boundaries.
She didn't do it for a living.
No.
She wasn't a paid surveyor. Okay.
She took like the old family maps that they had because they've lived, like I said, Andy's family has owned that land for, I think since it was land to own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she went by, if I recall from what she claimed in her Facebook videos, and now I've slept a few times since I listened to the original mumbles. She used the original maps that she had, and she went out and put up her boundaries, basically. This part is my
Yeah.
land. I don't know what the realtor told you, but this is where the land line is.
Oh, she was one of those neighbors.
Right. Like, don't step foot on my property, because if you do, yeah.
But it provides an insight into potential hiding places. You're right. That law enforcement wouldn't know. You're right. Yep. And she probably knew all about the land next to her. Odds are.
Oh, I'm
Before he
sure.
bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, she was irate. From what I recall, I want to be clear about this. From what I recall, she was irate and being sold, period.
Why didn't she buy it?
I think, and I think she was turned down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know who to reach out. I've reached out to mostly all the wrong people, as you can tell. And I wish there's something we could do. There's so many kids missing too. I guess they don't know where they're going or what's going on. don't know who to reach out to. I mean, I wish I could send out the military to do something. I don't know. But I just
I
I
remember
don't
when you
know.
were talking about that, and
Okay, sorry.
I was right there with you when I first heard you say that. Bring the military in and start going door to door and find these kids. I thought that was a great idea.
Me too.
Yeah, no.
Me too.
Don,
I wouldn't.
Firefly
I
was wondering
wouldn't.
what is Summer's favorite meal?
Well, of course,
He doesn't
anytime you
know.
go by, Burger King or anything like that, she's always
Yeah.
wanting French fries. Are her number one thing is French fries and soft drink or whatever. But the candy was a must for her. She loved her candy. But, every time I just left Walmart's today, and every time I go to Walmart's, I get real sad because we'd always spend a lot of time in the toy section, and she always wanted the dolls and everything. And it was always, it took an hour to get her out of there. And we'd always have to compromise on something, of course. She want that expensive things. And I've bought them for her a few times. I still have some of her toys in my truck, and they're staying there. Can't remember what they're called, the princess. I don't know. One's got the deer, or the otter, the elk, or whatever it is. I can't remember what toys those are now, but I bought a few of those for her. Couldn't turn her down, So.
Oh wow.
And it breaks my heart. I'll be honest with you. I have a daughter who's 5 years old too, and
Really sorry, Don. This is terrible, man.
I'm not worried about me. I'm just worried about her. I don't care about me. No kid deserves to be treated in such a way. I guess the most we could hope for is some rich lady that just has to have a kid or something. That'd be the best hope. But I just got a feeling that somebody's seen her on Facebook or TikTok and seen her, and there's just so many kids. I don't know. It's just so odd. The whole thing is so odd. Everybody says that too, and it is. It's odd. But she is gone. And
Really
nobody
quick,
has a clue.
sorry, to the person that just came backstage, I didn't mean to be rude when I booted you, but we're going to keep it a closed panel when Donald's up here. I'm sorry, but I'll open up panel again after, but closed panel while he's up here, just to make sure we can control the situation.
Yeah, it's probably for the
Yeah.
best.
Don, I have a question. We were talking about it earlier,
Yeah.
and I hear a lot from you what you have to say. You told me you do still have hope that Summer is alive somewhere. I'm just curious if he was to be watching, or she to be watching this YouTube channel right now tonight, what would you say to that person right now?
I just say, please, of course, please find a way to let her come home. Because everybody here, we love her with all our hearts, and we've never mistreated our kids. I think we don't have the best of everything, but we do have a lot of love. We've never mistreated our kids or anything. We've always been happy. And, just please let her come home sometime. And I don't know. I just, for one, I don't know who's got her. I don't know exactly who I would be talking to. But if Summer hears this, I want you to know, Summer, I love you with all my heart. I miss you with everything I got. And a lot of people will love you. Just hope and pray to God, or the living God, that you can come home someday soon. Hope that you're okay. We've all prayed. There's many people praying that you're okay and you're in good health. We just pray for all children in this circumstance, in this situation. We all love you with all our hearts. Miss you, everything we got. Can't wait to be with you again someday. Hopefully soon. Just please let her come home.
Don, the Lord has a hedge of
And if you
protection
do
around her and your
do
family.
that, we'll help. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
I think that was the one and only time that he actually
There's a couple people
pled to
that are
Summer.
wondering.
Hold on just a
We know
second.
she loved to take your arm, and especially after.
Say that again.
I said, I think that was the one and only time that he actually pled to, like, Summer or Summer's abductor or whatever he was, insinuating. Any other time he was asked, he never knew what to say.
Yeah, because at the church, remember, he did nothing.
Right.
He just asked for his sins to be forgiven.
Right. Well, and I think I wish Cher would come back because I feel like Cher probably prepped him for this stream
Yeah,
and
yeah,
kind of told him what to say or gave him ideas what to say. Because that was a decent plea. I mean, that wasn't awful. You know,
right.
he's definitely given worse, obviously.
I
So,
miss
you know,
you.
right. He actually spoke to Summer and then
Mm-hmm.
he spoke to
Mm-hmm.
an invisible abductor and, you know,
I actually had a question for Cher tonight too. I wish I'd have thought about asking her before she left. Somebody had asked me in the comments of the short I put out today, did Don say that him and Candace didn't want any children, or Candace didn't want any children, or they have no plans of having children? I have to go back and
yeah.
look. And
Dawn said that Candace messed up and got pregnant.
right,
He didn't want children with Candace at all. And I remember him saying it, but then Cher said that he altered to her different ways than how he said it on a panel. But yeah, he said that Candace wasn't supposed to get pregnant, but she did
right, yeah.
because they weren't supposed to have any kids. He didn't want kids with Candace.
And let's see if I can find it. Um,
But yeah, I know that's the answer. You know, because Cher's told before, and then
yeah,
I know I heard him myself when he said it. I don't remember where he said it. I can't picture it right this second.
see, their comment was, is it true that on the phone to Cher, they stated they never wanted the kids anyway?
Yeah. I think she talked about it on her panel the other night.
Okay. And I answered and I said, I believe that is true, but I don't know for sure, but I will find out tonight because Cher will be here and we can ask her. But then when Cher came in, I forgot to ask her. Duh.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, I wonder if the person who asked is in the chat.
they are not. I do not see them unless they're in the bushes.
Right. They could be lurking.
That's right. And that's okay.
Well, seclusion, that's basically, you know, it takes two, but it was her responsibility to not get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he worded it on the panel that I recall.
Yeah, it was her fault.
Right. Well, yeah, it's always for Dawn.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have to keep reminding people of that. Dawn is always the victim.
Right. I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh,
Gosh, Tammy.
I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot he was the victim. Forgive me.
I'm gonna write you a note in back chat and remind you. Oh, goodness.
Remind me who the victim is. Who the victim is here before we get started.
Here, I'm gonna
After coming
type
home
it.
from a long day of
Okay, you type it in there.
work and just want to be twirled around like a princess. But they're wondering, do you have any other stories that you could share? Any other good memories that?
Yeah, we used to sit. Yeah, we always sit here and watch YouTube music, you know, and we had a lot of favorite songs, and she always liked the Godzilla song. I think Deep Purple. She loved that song for some reason, and I can't remember Maddie B, the little boy that plays on it. She liked Maddie B, but she just loved to listen to music where she could dance to, and you can see in some of her videos she wanted to dance, and she didn't know how, but she tried the best she could, and she wanted to see herself as a princess, you know. And we'd tell
She
her,
didn't
man,
know
you did
how.
such a good job dancing, Summer. You're awesome. And she'd just keep on going, you know. But it was amazing to me the way that she could run. She would chase the lawnmower. Well, the boys would get on their little dirt bikes we bought them, and she would run behind them all day and not tire out. And she was really strong and just really healthy. She loved to run and play. And I just hate the thought that she's someplace where she can't be out. She loved the outdoors. And I'd hate to think that she couldn't be outside or enjoy life or locked up somehow or being abused. Them thoughts just tear me up. But you know, I've talked to a lot of people, mostly women that come to me, and some good women that help me understand that this is a very evil world, you know, and they're right. And we're going to go through hell before we get to heaven. There's going to be a lot of bad stuff coming up in the future. So
Okay, wait, pause.
all this here is just hitting home.
The way he just said that, he's talked to a lot of good women that made
Yeah.
him realize that this world is evil, because
Mhm.
he had no flipping clue before those good women told him that
Right.
this world is evil. Like, he didn't spend time in prison.
Hmm.
What is he babbling about?
That's what he's doing. He's babbling. He's also saying that Candace isn't a good woman.
Right. And the way
Because
that he's talking, it's like he's talking about the good church women. Because remember when he says
right.
the good church people? Well, he
Yeah.
said the good women. Makes
Hmm.
me think the women from church.
Right. Yeah. That's who he's talking about. Because he's
Right.
not talking about all the women on Ben Hill Road, because he said they were all terrible.
Yep.
There's a lot of bad people around there. So
Right.
he's got to be talking about the ones from the church. He's got to be.
Yep. I just didn't like the way he said all that. Like that whole answer.
They had 4 kids and he didn't want any. Well, that makes sense, right?
Exactly.
Here we go. Don is the victim always.
There you go. There you go.
Always. Change from mower to bike. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Could have been a slip. Yep. And do you see, I don't know, do you see this other person here that has joined?
Oh, it's that other panel whore.
Yeah. And you see the date.
Well, you have to click on the description box to see which date this is. We know it's the week of the 15th.
The week of, the 8/15 to 8/22, which is a month after Summer went missing.
2
months, yeah. So the fact that people were saying, "Who am I? I was on Summer's case before." I just want to point that out, that there I am.
Yeah, you came into Summer's case way late, okay? Way late.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think I did too, I'm pretty sure. Was I maybe not. Was I a part of that accusation?
I think so.
I thought my name was brought up. Maybe I wasn't a newbie though.
I don't think you were brought up like I was. I've never been on YouTube before. I just walked in and started channel, and here I am.
Right.
Well, that's not quite how it is. So.
Well, and just to be clear, you can see the name under the video right there. It kind of has my picture and Spirit C, and it says that the video is from 3 years ago.
Right, and it's in the description also.
Yeah, so I'm not so much of newbie either.
No.
But I mean, whatever floats their boat,
Right. Yeah. Oh, what's this? I seen a video where little Summer was running after the boys on the motorbikes barefoot.
Yep. That was when her hair was shaved.
And I believe that when he says that she never wanted to wear shoes, I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. She didn't have shoes on. And she was running on that. I mean, there's gravel up there. And I remember the video that Eva's talking about, because that was when her hair was long on top and buzzed around the back and sides.
Oh, yeah.
And she was wearing like a little purple or blue outfit. Mm-hmm. And she was chasing after the boys on their new dirt bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Barefoot completely.
And I believe that I do believe. Like, that is one thing I don't think they're lying about, is that I don't think she likes shoes. I mean, I think she liked them sometimes, but not when she was there at home. I don't think she wanted to wear them.
No, and honestly, like if you look, I've been saying honestly since we watched Misty. Ugh. If you go back, without the honestly, if you go back and look at all of summer where we can, the majority of the pictures will show you she had on her brother's tennis shoes.
Yeah, bigger shoes.
Yeah, like on her 5th birthday, she had on this cute pink outfit and these ginormous black high top Velcro, like there was a Velcro snap thing across the ankle part and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
across the top of the shoe it tied. But they were big and black. Like they were probably 4 sizes too big for her.
Oh, yeah.
So they were obviously one of the boys' shoes.
Yeah.
So she cared. I think she took her shoes off and threw them wherever they landed.
Yeah.
And when she left the next time and had to put shoes on, she grabbed whichever she could find 2 matching shoes.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
To how evil this world is. We all have a lot of work to do to make it, to keep those commandments. All evil will be destroyed in the end. Right. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's getting bad. The mark of the beast is almost here. It's right at our doorstep right now. It sure is. Yeah,
How's
me and
Candace
Cher
doing,
was
Dawn?
talking about that earlier.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, she's doing a little better. We're gonna, working things out, working on the house and some other things. But I'm able to work a little bit better at the job site.
I texted
Trying to.
you. You said you were at work today, and I said, "Okay, I'll let you work today." And I didn't bother you all day, and you actually said, "Is everything okay?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just letting you
Yeah, I
work.
haven't heard much. My phone's starting to die down a little bit, finally, a little bit, but that just brings a lot more loneliness and thoughts of summer. Yes, sir.
I just want to tell you, I'm a local, man. I live right over the state line on Virginia side. And if you need any help moving metal off the trucks and stuff, I'll come help you. Feel free to ask.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've worked a lot up there in Virginia. It's a beautiful country up that way.
Yes, it is.
It
About
is.
45 minutes away
Thank
from
you.
Penny, we aren't
Yeah.
opening panel. Sorry, not right now. Closed panel. Tammy's up here because she's a part of the platform.
I just wanted to tell Dawn that I'm praying for him and keeping you in my thoughts, you and Candace. And I'm a mama and a grandma, so I know what the love is for babies. So just keep the faith, and we'll keep praying for you.
I appreciate that. I never expected what I got when we got Summer. I didn't expect her to just, when she was born and everything, she just wanted me. She didn't want her mother, and that hurt her mother pretty deeply. But
now, where did this come from out of the blue?
I mean, anything to make himself look better, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, they didn't ask him anything. He just out of the blue.
Right. Put it in there right quick.
Yeah. Again, he said this before. I guess he just wants us to know that he keep us reminded.
Right.
it surprised me. I didn't expect that.
But
I was gonna say, Annie, I think he likes to make Candace kind of look bad too. He makes her look like this helpless mother who's just so distraught over Summer missing, and she's so distraught she can't do interviews or anything, and he talks in that same tone that he talked about when his stepsisters were evil and lying on him, and he was lying the whole time.
yeah,
But he talks in that same tone when he wants you to think he's a victim or Candace is a victim.
yeah,
But he's better. He's better than Candace. She's a victim, distraught, but he's a victim and he's better. So as long
Yeah.
as you know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the one talking to the good women.
Right. Well, yeah. And right.
Yep.
He's painting himself as the good parent. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I loved every bit of it. She just wanted me only, but Mom got to spend quality time with her when I was at work, and so she'd go out and take her. All them pictures show all the places she got to go, and I'm glad she got to spend all that quality time. But this evil and cruel world, though, as evil as it is, one day I'll strive, to keep them commandments. We'll all be together, one day, and it will be all be worth it. And we'll see Summer again if worse comes to worse. I'll see her. I'll be with her again someday, sooner
Always
or later.
prepared.
We always
Always.
That's my So since this has happened, that's my number one priority now, is to keep those commandments for sure, and try to help others all I can.
Nita said, and I was going to weigh in on this.
That's what.
Why is it so hard? Everybody knows that you got daddy's girls and mommy's boys. That's how it is with my kids.
Yeah.
And, I'm sorry that you had to go through all that with them saying the things they said about you with your children, trying to say that the dirty things about, even when your children, all of us, your kids sleep with you when they get scared or when they don't want to sleep in their room. That's nothing new. I mean, if you're not doing that for your child, something's wrong there. If you're not giving comfort to your child when they're scared, because they look to you as their protector. So shame on people for that.
Yeah, my kids all love to snuggle me. My 19-year-old daughter will still snuggle up with me and fall asleep next to me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
My
that's
daughters
awesome.
are 28 and
That's
32,
awesome.
and they'll still snuggle with me when they come visit.
Mm-hmm. I think that
But do you sleep
Yeah.
naked?
shows a very strong bond.
Yeah.
Heck no.
I think that might be the difference.
That might be the difference. And both my girls are daddy girls, so.
Yep.
I want to just take a moment to tell Don that I am, as a man and a father, I'm extremely impressed with your restraint, sir.
Yes, sir.
With everything that everyone is firing at you, from your child to your job and everything in between, the restraint you're showing is, it's from God alone. That's it.
Oh yeah, there's been quite a few days though that I've just been completely so down in the dumps, and just think that there's hardly anywhere to turn to, and then I might see one of y'all's videos or something, and some support somewhere. Somebody will step up and help me, or text me a positive message, and just out, and so all that to all saying thank you so much, because every bit of that helps. Even the smallest thing, it just makes it. Somewhere in the Bible it says how beautiful. Let's see, how beautiful are the feet of those who publish peace, and it's so true. It is so true. So thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And
Yes, sir.
but, yeah, love is the answer for sure.
Oh my God.
Can you tell us again? Summer did not
Jesus,
like arguing and fighting, right?
Yeah.
She was a peacekeeper.
Right. Yeah, she was. Because me and her grandmother, we've never got along, and there's a few times I want to just tell her to take her stuff and go to another state or something. And Summer would talk to me and says, "But I love my grandma," and I say, "Okay, Summer, fine." And or if me and Candace was arguing or something, she'd say, "Stop right now," and she'd point a little finger, and she would make us get along. I mean, it's really interesting that she was beyond her years, I think, in wisdom and love. I don't know. We sure miss her. That's for sure.
Yeah, we can't imagine how much you must miss her. We know how much we miss her, and most of us never seen her before. So,
Well, that's awesome.
What was her favorite?
Hopefully, we can all. Yeah.
I was just going to ask what her favorite animals were. Animal?
I think all animals.
Critter? Does she like all kinds of
I think
animals?
all animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. I think. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad Candace got to spend so much quality time, with her. I think I worked for 13 years straight until this
Yes.
happened, and I think I haven't been able to work for like 5 or 6 weeks. I've been trying, but it just don't work.
I know,
Well, I do have faith. I have faith that, one day that God's going to make it all right. He's going to make everything right again. And it's hard to see and it's hard to imagine. But, like that dream I had of her, I can't describe hardly the dream because the day was a beautiful sunshiny day. And it's beyond explanation how beautiful and perfect that day was, because I've never seen a sunshiny, more beautiful, perfect day like that in my life. And the building I was working on was beyond, it was just an awesome building. The steel studs were massive, just huge. And it was just me and Summer there on that job site alone. And she was dressed in a beautiful dress sitting on the floor. And I asked her, I said, Summer, where you been? And she says, oh, down the road. That's all I can remember of the dream, except for that funny word. But yeah, the day was, and everything was almost indescribable. Like I've never seen anything like that before. So I think that could have been sent, from God or an angel or something to give me hope or something like that.
Okay, wait.
Hope for the future day. So,
Why is Don up here on piano acting like a damn psychic as he sits there and says psychics are the devil?
I know. With
I just
his
had to call
little
that out.
with his little dream, it's a perfect day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he thinks that it was a sign sent. Okay. What the heck do you think psychics do? They get signs too.
Yeah. I
They
don't
get
think he
shown
had a
things.
sign though. I think he's making that up.
Well, I think that he had a dream that it was his guilty conscience getting the best of him
Mm-hmm.
because he knows that Summer is passed on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was his own guilty conscience saying, you're okay, Donnie. You're the victim. Summer's okay. Look, she looks so happy. Look, here she is. But it was his mind making it up,
Yeah.
So I think that he did have a dream about her.
Right.
But
Right.
he could be lying about it too. That
He
wouldn't
could.
surprise me either.
Yeah. To make it sound good, he's got to make it sound good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn is always the victim.
Yes. Victim. Keep repeating.
And he's a psychic too. He just doesn't know it.
Yep. Just don't know
I
it,
mean,
like you're a poet and don't
That's
know
right. That's right. When you say you have visions and stuff, that's what that is. He thinks that it was a mess. Well,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think we're all called to help each other and do God's work, and that's definitely what I want to do, like in any way I can, because we all have a lot to strive for. We all have so much to live for, and we got a war to fight against the evil one, because he's going to try to kill every one of us and destroy your relationships, your families, your marriages, and everything that he can. He's going to want to destroy.
I had a verse I want to tell you, man. It says,
So we all have.
a righteous man will fall 7 times. And, so just think about the men who aren't righteous, how many times they fall. And your restraint that Benny said that you have showed. I mean, that just gives understanding that what the verse of, that's when God says he'll never put more on you than you can stand. And I mean, you understand that, because I wouldn't handle it as well as you have, man. I'd be flipping out on everybody. I wouldn't know. I don't even know how I would react. So, I mean, I give you credit, and we're praying for you. I know if it wasn't for God, my life wouldn't be right here, right now, how it is. So, I agree with a lot that you say, Don. Just keep up that mindset, buddy.
I appreciate that, but sir, to be honest with you, I am human, and I have flipped out a few times, and I have done the wrong things, and yeah, I can't keep it together all the time. And like I say, a lot of times you guys say some and shares, you know, and her husband and all y'all said that because in times like that, Satan wants to stomp us all down. So what y'all done has really helped me tremendously, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because it means so much. But yeah, I've lost it a few times. I've done wrong. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm human, just like y'all. So,
Yeah, that call that you had with Chris, that's what I tell people. You're human. Like, you were upset, and I think that's okay. You felt like he
yeah,
didn't fulfill what you thought he was there to do, and I think that's okay. You were angry, and trust me, I feel like you have every right to be. I sure would be if I was in your position. So yeah.
I would have said
yeah. I feel like every time, you know, yeah. I guess the best thing to do is just stay clean away from him. I feel sorry for him. A lady told me today, you know, about him that people like him have no true friends. All the money he's making or whatever, you know, need to pray for him and feel sorry for him because he really doesn't have no true friends. Probably. I mean, that's what, and I agree with her. You know, I guess a good example, you know, is Jesus, the life that he had. He never had anything. He didn't want money. You know, but those high priests in the temple, man, they had all that money and they had all that fine clothing and everything. And then they persecuted Jesus, put him down, and everything else. He's a good example of how he's our best example, isn't he? Yeah.
It says even Jesus got angry. He flipped the whole temple upside down.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Well, Dawn, thank you. I'll let you get back to your wife now. Thank you so much for answering some questions from people that wanted to know and for joining us tonight to chit chat. And thank you for taking more time out of your schedule for that.
Okay. Thank you all very much, and love and prayers out to everybody. Thank you, and God bless. Appreciate you.
Yep. I'll bother you
We'll
tomorrow.
see y'all
Thank you,
later.
Don. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All righty. See you.
Right on.
Bye.
Okay, y'all. Thank you for being respectful.
Yeah,
Chat.
almost all of you.
Almost all of you. You know, I mean, can't win them all, but thank you.
Well,
Thank
there's
you,
always
Mom.
some.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people are wanting questions answered, but
That's not what
some of them will get answered when I do my thing with Dawn. It's going to be all about summer.
we don't want to drill them with questions all the time, you know.
Oh, and Cam, you said you live fairly close to Dawn. Is that correct?
Earbuds.
I'm going to PayPal you. Can you please go to Walmart and get him a set of earbuds that has the microphone on it?
I will never forget that.
Because I know y'all were pissed with the people.
Huh?
I said I will never forget that. When Mark was like, he's got to get some earbuds.
Yeah, I know. I remember that too. But I don't think he ever got them, did he?
No.
I don't think Cam ever gave them to him, did he?
No. Nope.
I didn't think so. I was gonna ask Cher that too. Did Cam ever get them to him? But
no, Mark brought it up multiple times though, because that echo and that feedback is so awful, you know?
yeah, it
and
is.
then it makes a delay. And so you feel like you're interrupting Don when you want to ask him a question, but you have to start talking and you can hear yourself when he hears you, you know? So yeah, it annoyed Mark so bad. I will never forget that when he was like, Cam, you live down there? That's why I said, I'm going to send you some money for some kids.
Right. Yeah.
Before he said it, because I knew that's exactly what it was.
I know they went, Allie and Cam went.
Oh, yeah, they went multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he ever got the headphones. I don't think he ever got them. Maybe he did.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask Cher.
I don't recall him getting them, but
Yeah.
but yeah, Cam and Ellie were definitely there one too many times, we might be able to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they, yeah, traveled there quite a bit, I think.
That didn't have anything to do with Summer, too.
Right.
I mean, they started out doing well with them. You know,
Right.
they met him here, and then, you know, they ended up going there. Dawn and Candace let them come on their property,
Right.
and they ended up going up and down the dog trail, and they kind of showed us. I think they were the first people who really showed us the Wells property, you know, up
Right.
around the house and the dog trail, and, you know, down
Yeah.
the hill by the camper and by the bus. And, you know, that was interesting to be able to see it from that point of view, because we hadn't seen it that way yet. So,
Right.
you know, I give them
Right.
credit for doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Feedback, and I have to try and mute him whenever someone else is talking, but I click it and it takes like 5 seconds to mute and then 5 seconds to unmute. I just gave up. It's a lot easier when we're doing our one-on-one recording. I can do it, but when it's live like this, there's too much delay.
Makes you a sound designer.
I'll get him a pair of earbuds, or whatever you want me to get him, and I can. If you want to tell him Friday, we can meet him in Kingsport, and I'll hand them to him.
Perfect.
You are awesome.
Yeah, that'll help so much.
Thanks, Cam.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, Chris is going live Sunday evening. I'm not sure what he's going to go over.
Now, this
but it
is the
looks like
next
he's going
one.
to try and nail down.
Say again.
This is the next interview. So if you click on more below the video, like scroll down just a little bit and click on more,
Yeah.
then it'll tell you we're at 44 minutes timestamp.
Yeah.
And so it'll tell you what date this interview was from.
Okay, let's see.
So right there, what's it say? August 20.
8/22.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So now we know.
Now
Moving right along through the week.
Yep, through the week, slowly.
Missing time in Candace's story, and that's a big thing on everyone's mind.
Yeah.
We kind of have a couple hours that
Yeah.
are missing. And really quick, I wanted to ask you, like, I know you've been asked this 100 times, but do you believe that Candace would tell you the truth if there was an accident by chance at home or anything?
Oh yeah. If there was an accident, she would call 911 right away. She would have been freaking out. You know, she loves that baby with all her heart. And yeah, she would have. There's no way. Yeah, she's not devious like that. No.
Do you have any thoughts? Really, we haven't like touched too much on Allie and Hunter. Do you have any thoughts, or do you kind of think maybe they're just lying to try and get reward money, or do you think it's possible maybe they know more?
Well, I believe what happened with them is they thought that we called the welfare on them or something, and they was out to get revenge.
Oh,
And they called the welfare on us several times. And I think that's what it's all about. I don't think, you know, if TBI thought that they had something to do with someone's disappearance, then they'd be all over it. But they questioned them thoroughly, you know, and they're still not. I mean, you know, it's a shame that they can't share information like that with us, so that we ain't got to do guesswork and try to figure all this out. And then, you know, the internet just goes with all this speculation and all this crazy stuff and these crazy stories. But I think from what I've been able to figure out, they was just out to get us back, thinking that we called the welfare on them. But so we know they called the welfare on us. Yeah, but I don't think they would take Summer, no.
Okay.
I don't believe so. I've been going around talking to, you know, all our neighbors and getting to know people in the evening time. And, you know, a lot of people have told me that if I don't know, but if somebody in this area took her, that's pretty much signing your own death warrant being in this area. They would come after you. I don't know, but all we know is somebody definitely took her. And I'm starting to wonder because my wife doesn't know
about TikTok and Facebook and stuff, and I didn't either. I was really naive to any of this stuff.
Oh,
I still don't know anything
baloney.
about TikTok.
I was just fixing to say that's the get your boots. Got your boots on? Everybody got your boots on?
Right?
Because it's getting deep.
That is
She put her
ridiculous.
pictures out there. And
It
was proud of
is
Summer.
ridiculous.
And I'm starting to think personally.
She knew how to do Facebook and all of that. She had
Heck
a
yeah.
Facebook, a YouTube. She had both of them and had
And
multiple
a TikTok.
multiple pages.
Yeah. And she was posting TikToks on June 15th. So what is he talking about?
Bullshit.
Exactly. Ding, ding, ding.
If somebody's seen her on Facebook or TikTok and decided
Right,
that they wanted her
Mandy?
for herself, or or it's the sex trade thing, or I don't know. We don't know, but that's what I'm starting to lean towards personally. And it's like the more I get to know people around this area and talk to them, and I'm going to continue to do that every evening as much as I can, just in case you never know what you might find or hear or whatever. So I'm going to keep doing that. I don't know how long, but.
So, okay, if we can, I do want to try and go over the time a little bit better with you, because I believe that's what his plan is. Now, you went to the swim hole. Can we kind of run through that day again from your memory? You got up, you went to work, and then what's a typical day for Candace and the kids? Do they sleep in typically? Do they wake up early? Or what was their morning routine after you had already gone to work? Do you know?
Well, I mean, it depends, on whether it's school or not, but, I'm not sure. When I left, everybody was asleep, but I had to go over that timeline with Candace several times. The TBI wanted me to just sit with her and just keep going over it until we could figure out every minute of it. And we give that to them, and they seemed perfectly satisfied with it, that it made sense, because she had actually left out some things, like doing a load of laundry. Well, doing a load of laundry, and maybe getting a bite to eat and folding clothes and whatever. That probably took up to an hour.
She doesn't do laundry.
And just things like that when she originally put that out there, it sounded like she just threw a load in the washer, but it was a lot more than that. It ended up taking like an hour.
Dawn. I've seen all the clothes piled up in there. She don't do laundry. Marlena does laundry.
Right?
Marlena.
Oh my goodness.
She came over there and cleaned your whole house. Did loads of laundry. But yet
for $20.
Yeah, and then the next day we saw it, and it looked like there was like 20 piles of laundry needing to be done. So I don't know what Marlena did. Maybe she was in somebody else's house and thought it was yours.
I mean, that could be. Or she might have just been there at a different time, like 4:30 or 7:30.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, that could be too.
The
but
Friday
I think
before Easter or after, who knows?
Right, exactly. I mean, time is hard. Okay,
Right.
time is hard.
It is.
But I think that this part was very telling, because he caught himself and then added more to it as soon as he caught himself. Because he said law enforcement had Candace give more detail to her original timeline. Okay, well, that means when she gave the timeline, they're like, Candace, this isn't adding up.
Right. You're missing time.
Right. What were you doing during this time space? It didn't take that long to wipe your ass. So what else were you doing?
You had to have been doing something in between here. Were you not home?
So she added laundry in there as one of the things she was doing?
I guess. What happened to planting flowers?
Well, I would assume that would have been on the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, when she ran through the timeline, she said they got home around 3 or 3:30. And because she got home right after they had taken the milk video and picture. They were on their way home when those were taken.
Right.
which we know the picture was not taken at home. It was taken within an hour, hour and a half after the video, but they weren't at home. They were somewhere where the trash trucks ran, and that Beach Creek or Ben Hill Road.
Mhm.
So she said that she came home and carried the groceries in and then hung out with the kids, and they did, we did our thing when she was talking to Chris McDonough.
Mhm.
And then she said she looked out the front door and saw her mom sitting out there. And so she yelled out there and asked her what she was doing. And she said, we need to transplant these flowers. And
Mhm.
she said, well, the boys won't want to help with that, but I know somebody who will. Hey, Summer.
Uh-huh.
And so then they started planting the flowers. And that was around, what time did she say? Around 4:30?
Yeah, I think so. So if that's the case, then the phone call to Marlena can't be true because they were planting flowers or cacti or weeds or something.
And see, I don't believe they were planting, obviously.
I don't know. They're planting nothing.
Right.
I said that from the
So,
very beginning. I said that when first Summer went missing, and when she said that, I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not that time. That time of summer, you're not planting anything.
right.
It's hot.
Exactly.
Things die that time of summer. They tell you to have all that planted before June.
Yep.
So she was not planning anything.
Nope. Now, see, I do believe Marlena when she said that Candace called her at 4:37. I do believe that.
That's what
And
I'm
I
saying. She
believe,
can't be doing both. She can't be planting
right,
flowers and talking to Marlena.
right. But I believe that the 4:37 time was correct because one, that is an odd time. So that means, 4:37, she didn't round it and say 4:30 or,
Right. She's more,
7:30. She
yeah.
said 4:37.
Yeah, she was more specific with that one. Yeah.
Right. And I could see Candace calling her at 4:37 to try
Hmm.
to get the first run through of the story out, you know,
Right. Yeah.
um, just doing a test run and seeing
Right.
what Marlena's going to ask, what questions she might ask
Right.
before calling law enforcement because they're going to ask all the hard questions.
Right. Yeah, we
So,
heard Miss Justice that we heard there was a time over there on that channel.
yeah,
We heard.
we're going to have a couple stiff drinks and then check it out.
That's right. Something. Something before we check
If
that drama out.
if marijuana was legal in Indiana, I might, partake in that before checking it out. But I haven't smoked marijuana since before I got pregnant with my daughter, and my daughter is 22 years old.
I have never smoked it ever in my entire life.
Yeah. I
Not
had a
even in,
guy I had a guy that I dated that well, actually, my daughter's father smoked it, like, he was ADHD, and so he smoked
yeah.
it to calm himself down, and so I would smoke with him sometimes, but, I mean, he would smoke all day. He would wake and bake, and I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
If I smoked, I wanted a big-ass bowl of Fruity Pebbles and my pillow and blankie, and I was done for.
Yeah.
So, I didn't smoke very often,
I had
so
to drink to mod there.
I bet and smoke too, right? My goodness, double it up. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
you took one for the team, Miss Justice.
Right?
Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you got to do it, right? You got to do it.
Right? But I'm curious now if Marlena has ever shown her Facebook Messenger to show proof of the 4:37 call. Does anybody know?
I don't know that. No, I don't know.
I mean, we know recently she changed it to 7:30, but we know that's a crock of shit
Did,
because we
did
just
she
listened to it.
did she originally say that on Samantha's channel, or did she originally say that on PG's channel, or did she originally say that on somewhere else?
She never went on Sam's channel.
She never went on Sam's channel?
Not if we're thinking about the same Sam. The one that just had Misty on there?
Yeah.
No.
I thought Marlena
Sam,
went on her channel.
Sam, I don't think Sam's ever covered Summer's case.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. When she first did her first rounds, I know chat will know this. Where
She
did
did
Marlena first?
a Lips interview, and I haven't seen that. It was when.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. It could
yeah.
be not PG, she said. Okay. Well, that's narrowing it down because we don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because, Cher and Lips was on Cher's panel the other night, and
Right.
she had a lot of information where she had spoken with Marlena, so that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find those. See,
Yep.
that's what I want to do. I want to listen to her first interview where she first came out, and then listen to her round on PG's here recently. But I need that first one first, and I'm going to have to sit down and truly focus and try to get past the BS meter that will be, screaming in my head.
Right. I want to write that down somewhere too, so we won't forget. Because been trying to write down, like the questions for the next one. So, because if you say you'll remember, I won't. And
Right.
I have a page already just of Marlena that I took notes on the video the other night. Did you send it to me, or did Cher send it to me? One of y'all sent it to me. And I took notes. Like I have like a page and a half of notes of her. So I'm going to add that to this one.
There's fireworks going on with Lips too.
What?
Between Lips and Marlena. Well, I know Marlena's been starting all the fireworks because she was trying to start fireworks with Cher too. When Cher went live the other night, she read an email from Marlena, but then Marlena said she never emailed Cher, that she had never talked to anybody but PG on YouTube.
Yeah.
But Lip, a collection of conversations with Marlena, and Cher read the email. So
right. Yeah. That was the live. We just did that live too.
Yeah. So Mimi Jean said, Marlena said that she gave the phone to the cops, which I remember hearing her say that. She said that recently. And Mimi Jean also said that Lips chopped it up a lot, the conversation that she had. But I bet if we asked Casey to give us like the original, if she has the original call or if she can upload the original call or whatever, I bet she would. Where we can hear it, where it's not all chopped up.
Because I believe she said if we needed anything to ask her, right?
Yeah, she did. And I've always, Lips has been up and down, and there's been nobody agrees with everything, okay? But I've always had respect for her, and she has shared information that is helpful. So, I remember her sharing stuff where she had conversations with Candace. There was one thing, I know I clipped one of Lips's videos and made a video about it because she called law enforcement and asked questions, and then she was talking to Candace, and I think it was that day, it might have been around the time frame that there was a sighting, and they thought it was Summer, and it was when they were doing Dr. Phil, and it was Jenna and all of that, and Lips asked Candace about the sighting, and Candace was like, it's not Summer. And Lips was like, well, how do you know it's not Summer? It's not Summer. Like, how would you know? They haven't even investigated it yet. You just literally heard about it. How do you know it's not Summer?
Yeah, so confidently. Well, it's not Summer. Well, how do you know that?
Right. So that was a big thing for me. And, so that's why I clipped it and made a video about it. And I think once I clip things, that helps me remember it. Just like now,
Right.
like I wouldn't remember that if I wouldn't have made a video about it.
Yeah, it does. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that helps me remember too. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mimi Jean said she's playing it on Andrews, but she never stops talking, so you can't hear shit.
Who never stops talking?
Lips.
I know.
I know.
Because when I was interviewing that other video, it was Cher that sent it to me, I think. Here's my notes. I found them. When I was watching the video, I was like, I can't hear, because she was playing the video and talking over the video, and I was like, oh, I can't. There's so much going on. I got to really break this down to listen to it, because
Yeah.
the
And see, I can't do that.
Yeah, and she was talking, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I can't do that. I want just the video. I don't want you talking through it, because
Right.
especially when she's talking in the original video that she's playing and then she's talking over it also, then it gets too confusing, because you're like, was
Right.
that her then or is that her now?
Yeah.
But when she said that she never stops talking, I giggled, because when we were on Cher's panel, I was trying to explain about the milk video, and I don't remember what I was saying, but I was like just starting on my explanation about how I figured something out, and Lips started to cut me off, and I was like, but wait, hold on.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I knew if I didn't get it out, I would forget where I was going with it. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, you can't interrupt me. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I made it through the video. I did. And that's where I took these notes. I took like a page and a half of notes. I don't think it's in here though. Let me see. Let me look really quick. What's in stream? Mimi Jean says, I left the other night when she was up there. Yeah.
I get it. It's hard. When you're on a panel of people, it's hard because you don't want to talk over each other and you don't want to interrupt somebody else. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you need to say what you're thinking right then, because if not, you forget it. So, it takes a little practice to be able to do a panel of people.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And do a video.
Right. Yes, I know.
Well, because you have to pause.
Yeah, but you're in two different spots. You're like,
Right.
You have to switch back and forth sometimes when you say pause, which yeah, that's what takes me a little minute, because I got to go back from YouTube back to StreamYard and I got to pause. What's it say? She didn't on Mama Bear's too. Yeah.
I wonder if Mama Bear told her not to. Now, see, I've never watched Mama Bear that I'm aware of, but I wonder if maybe Mama Bear told her before she came up. I don't know. I know that when you're sharing a video, it is hard. Like I said, when you're reviewing a video where yourself is talking and you want to pause it to say something, like when we were reviewing the summer on the milk video on Shares the other night, if I wouldn't have paused it and I would have just spoken over myself, it would have completely distorted everything that I was saying in the video. And then you guys wouldn't have been able to hear me now or me back then, because it would have kerfuffled everything. See, there's the word.
There's the word. See,
it would have been bad.
And the interview that Cher sent me that I watched, because I was going to be on her panel and she wanted me to watch it, review it. Marlena says 7:30.
Oh.
She doesn't mention 4:30 in that interview. So I can tell you what interview it's not in. But she did say, and I don't know if she said this in her new interview or at her, since she's been on panel again. I don't know if she said it then, but in this one, she said, and this is what she said, I did not say it, that Candace and her mom were doing rugs when Summer went missing.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me.
So that's also in this interview, and I can let you know which one that was. Which one that
Yeah.
was. But there was no mention, because I went through the whole interview and there was no mention. I took notes, 2 pages of notes, and there was no mention of the 4:37 phone call. Only the 7:30 one. So that's new. And this is an interview from 2 or 3 years ago. So
Well,
this is not new. This interview is not new.
okay. Well, that explains why everybody's like, now you're saying 4:37, but you said 7:30 back then. So
Right.
yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
we'll have to see if we can reach out to Casey and see if we can get find the videos if they're on her channel public, and we can maybe review them together, like do a Marlena night. I know Cher's trying to do that again. So,
yeah.
maybe have Cher play 'em and make sure that everybody's quiet while we're listening and talk when we pause.
Yeah.
And Mimi Jean corrected herself and she said she did do it on Mama Bears. And someone told her to shut up and there was a big fight. And then she came on here.
Yeah, because see, I hate, one of my things is I hate being talked over. Like if I start talking, and I
Yep.
hate being talked over, and I don't like to talk over other people. But you offend people when you tell them, don't talk over me.
Right.
I mean, you make people mad. And I don't know if it's like if there's a delay for them, or they just get so excited they just want to talk. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's a delay from
Well,
that.
with me, I just get excited. So,
I mean, and I don't mind if I'm not saying you'll never overtalk each other, because that's just impossible.
we do it all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, she was like, bless her, she was talking and the video was playing. So you've got 3 people you've got her talking twice and then Marlena talking. So that's the reason I'm saying
Right.
it took me, it's only like 40 minutes, but dang, did it take, well, it may be a little longer than that. It's like an hour and something, but only 40 minutes of it is her and Marlena talking. So it took me a couple of hours because I had to stop. I'm like, okay,
Right.
I got too many, my head's rumbling, because I'm
Right.
hearing many voices. There's 2 people here and I'm hearing 3. So, and that connection, I think, was bad, kind of bad too, because it was kind of like echoey.
Oh, yeah.
And that Marlena was echoey, and that made it, a pain in the butt.
Right. Well, yeah, that's bad enough on its own.
Yeah.
And she said that Eve said there's a lot of fireworks going on with Blips and with a couple other that she won't name. So I know there's people. I know that there's people who don't like Lips.
I get it.
I've seen the drama. Okay, I saw the court hearing. There's some drama. But I mean, everybody has their own, whatever. Like, as long as she's respectful with me, I'm going to be respectful with her. And if she has, the earlier conversations with Marlena, I would like to be able to have those and review those compared with her new conversations that Marlena has had with PG.
Right.
So, for Summer's case, for Summer's sake. So, we'll have to figure something out. Maybe she doesn't realize.
Yeah.
Like she just doesn't realize that it's cutting out so bad when she talks over it, and the background noise interferes with it also. And, maybe we can kind of maybe help her out and, maybe have her play it and pause, pause to talk, but while she's playing it, make sure she's on mute.
Right. Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll send it to you and let you watch it for yourself, and then you'll see, what I mean.
I may not be able to get through it if it's as bad as chat said. Yeah, I probably won't be able to get through it. You know, I have very little patience with stuff like that. Like, no joke, nothing personal, but I watch my videos on 2 to 3 times the speed on a normal basis. And then if there's something specific that I'm like, oh wait, I need to go back and re-listen to that, but I'll slow it down to like 1.5. But I never watch a video on normal speed. That's
Right.
why I come into live streams late all the time. I do that on purpose. You know, I
Right.
come in late and then I rewind back to the beginning and I put it on 2 times speed. So
Right.
I don't know why. I've always been that way. And if like, time is so precious, you know, like I can't sit through 3 hours of something unless it's a live stream. You know, like there are lives that I go into and I'll go in there and chat with the creator and the chat at the same time. But there's a lot of times I'll come in late and put it on 2 times speed, and then I'll still kind of chat with the chat, but I won't chat with the creator until I get caught up on to the live, you know, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. Oh, there's Aussie True Crime. How are you?
Hello,
Good to see
Aussie.
you, Aussie. It's
So
top of the day for her.
right. Early morning.
Yeah, it's early morning for her. Well, it's early morning here too, but not as
That's
early
what I was getting ready to say. It's early morning here too. It's
Yeah.
almost 20 till 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's playing it on Andrews, but she never stops talking, so you can't hear shit. So
Oh,
yeah, and I don't Drew either. So yeah,
oh,
we'll
it's
see
in
if we
the
can't.
afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Wow.
Oh,
I didn't know it was that late. Okay.
oh, girl.
Yeah.
It's too bad they don't have the lottery numbers over there. I'm telling you what.
Right.
Gosh, darn it.
She could share them, huh?
That's right.
So
We could split that.
So we're going on 3 hours here, so we'll listen to this for a little bit longer, unless you need to go, Mandy.
No, I can do a little bit longer.
Okay, you want to do like 25 more minutes?
Yeah, if we end around 2 my time.
Yeah, it'll be 1 my time. That'd be good?
Yep, that
Okay.
should work.
All right. Let's see. Let's get over here. Aussie's laughing. Are you laughing at us, Aussie?
She's laughing with us. We laughed with her, right?
I'd laugh at us too, to be honest.
That's okay. I laugh at myself all the time.
I do too. It helps you make it through the day, you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's listen to the words of wisdom here.
Oh, buckle up.
Yeah.
But so we was able to figure out the timeline down pretty well, and I think they seem satisfied with that, and it all made sense.
Glad it did to some.
Okay, so when she went to the swim hole, you think they left there? You had called them, and were they picking up the prescription, dropping Hunter off, and going home?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember her saying that she had a bunch more stuff to do, so I figured I would just work late, and because the more work I get done, the more I get paid. So I stayed, pretty late until I got that phone call. But I don't remember exactly word for word everything that she was saying or what she was.
We're hearing recently. I don't know if it was Marlena that said it or not now, but I remember somebody had said Don never called Candace during the day. Never. He never called to check on her. He never called to check on the kids. He went to work and he came home.
Right.
But for whatever reason, on June 15th, he called to see what they were doing.
Yeah. Why? You did not.
Right.
If you did, it was for I mean.
Oh, I believe he did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he did, it was for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But he's already said he was there when he said he wasn't there. So why would you be calling if you were there?
Right. So I found that interesting. So I just wanted to point that out, that this person is correct. He never called any other time, but he did call on June 15th.
Right. Wasn't a special day, Dawn.
Was it part of the script or making sure Candace was following the script? Or, I mean, what script?
Right.
Candace said she doesn't follow no script.
Right. Oh, she follows the script, all right.
But why would she say that?
A prescription script.
But what got me was she said, I don't follow no script.
Right.
Okay, well, who said you did?
Right. Why would you say that?
Right. You just told us that you did.
Yeah. Yeah. You just said.
Thank you.
We shall carry on now.
I just know
Okay.
Without
she
us
said that she was going to the
noticing.
swim hole until the prescription was ready. But that's the only thing I can remember, about it.
That's the other thing they're pointing out. You had mentioned before, well, since they're still at the swimming and running errands and stuff, and you would just stay and work late since, why would you go home and sit by yourself, right? But some people had pointed out weren't the three boys at home, so you wouldn't be by yourself, or were the three boys? There's a little bit of issues because I think someone from your church accidentally said they saw the boys at the swim hole that day. But I think he actually said that was a mistake. I think it was David, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure on that, but I don't even think I realized the boys were at home myself.
Right.
Because a lot of times the boys don't even want to go because they want to sit there and be on their phones. And we tell them to lock the door and everything, and then has access to a phone in case of emergency and everything like that. But I don't think we'd ever leave after this. We'd never leave them here by themselves ever again. I mean, and we know, Josie's at age to watch the younger ones and everything, but I don't think we'd ever do it again after this. So I don't trust. I mean, I don't.
Don't have to worry about that.
Like I said, I don't even think I realized or thought about it that the boys were here. I probably would have come home. I just didn't put that together in my mind at the time.
I think that's fairly normal. I mean, it's a typical guy. You want to stay at work and make more money, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
There's times I'd go meet them at the lake. But,
you'd go meet them at the lake after work?
Well, I have before many times, I'd get tired of working and I'd go meet them wherever they're at and whatever. But usually, I'm usually pretty wore out, so I want to go home.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Now, what do you think everybody is missing? Like, what's all being said and everything. What do you think we're all missing here?
I don't know, because that's what I'm trying to figure out myself is, what is missing. We know she's gone, and we know somebody took her, but we just can't figure out, who or why or whatever. That's what the only thing that I can do is just run around these streets up here and talk to people all I can. But everybody I talk to, they just don't think that it was somebody from this area at all. But I mean, the dogs that they brought up here, followed her scent to the road and up the road just a little ways before her scent disappeared. And they never could pick up her scent anywhere else, out in the woods or around this property, anywhere. So that pretty well tells you she was put into a car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she was
One question
definitely
about that,
led down the road.
A red car?
There's a couple people
Sure. Or a truck.
Mm-hmm. But it was red.
said that the dog followed her scent down your driveway, and then there was a couple people who said that they followed her scent down that dog trail. Do you know which one it was?
I believe it went down the dog trail and up the road just a little ways, probably more like where my driveway was. They're not going to share that information with us. I mean, we have some people that have asked them, and I could probably find out more about that, maybe, but they're not going to share a whole lot of information with us. And I probably shouldn't be sharing it with the world. I mean,
did you get a copy of the police report?
No, I haven't yet, but that's probably a good idea.
You should.
Yeah, that's a
I
real
did
good
call
idea. I think
about
we'll do
that,
that.
Don. Yep, and you can
Yeah.
because you're the parents. I tried to call
Okay.
to get a copy, and they said it had to be the parents. So
Okay. Well, we'll surely do that.
because there's a minor on
Maybe
there.
that'll
So if
help
you
us.
do want to try.
Yeah, for sure. And we're trying to do everything we can, and without knowing anything, that might help us. But we're just kind of on our own. But I do know TBI is still working on it all they can. I know they're doing all they can. And
Try and see if you can get a
we just had a
copy.
lot.
Sometimes they might. I don't know. Depending on where you are, I've heard other states like this one case, Andriacchio case, the parents had to pay for the police report. If that is a thing, let us know, and we'll put that out on our channel and try to, however much it is, try and get that covered for you so that you can get a copy of it.
Okay, they probably wouldn't be too much.
You hear the dogs barking?
Yeah, they didn't take that day off.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, they're dumb dogs,
Yeah,
but they
it
took
should
that
be
day off.
free, I hope. But
Right?
keep us posted on that for sure.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay. Yeah.
do you think that this case is tied at all with your sister-in-law that's missing?
We just have no idea because, when she disappeared, they never found a trace of her. Never have. It's been, 11 years now. They haven't found a clue yet. And that's pretty sad. But she left behind 3 children that she loved, and there's no way she would, do that voluntarily.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have no idea.
Yeah. And you and Candace, you said, were you guys questioned in that?
I might have made a mistake about that. I said earlier that we were, but I mean, there might have been some people ask us some questions about it, but we weren't questioned by the police or anything. We were in Arkansas at the time.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought you told me, but you know how some of these people take things and run with it. So there was rumors that you and Candace were questioned pretty heavily in that case. But from what I did in my own research, I thought you were like in Utah, or you said Arkansas. So I knew you were out of state.
Yeah.
I actually think you might have even been in jail at that time, weren't you?
No, I was in Arkansas. It was about the time we was having Josie. Josie's 12 now, so yeah.
Now, do you know what the 40-minute thing is that Chris plans on talking about? Some kind of 40-minute timeline. Let me look here quick.
I think he's just making stuff up because, like I say, we went through the timeline, and TBI seemed to be satisfied with it. And as soon as we found the holes we were looking for, I called him and told him, and he says, "Okay, that makes a lot of sense." Okay, and he seemed really, happy about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he says there's a critical 40 minutes that has impacted the missing 5-year-old girl in Tennessee who disappeared on June 15th, 2021. You will not want to miss this. So do you don't know the critical 40 minutes he is talking about?
No, not at all. Because we counted almost for every minute.
It's going to be the drive. Your drive from work to home. I bet that's going to be the 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all.
I'm pretty sure.
I think I made it home in about 30 minutes. It's a 45-minute drive normally, but I think I made it in probably 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Now some people are saying, because now they're trying to say that Candace had these charges out, so now they're looking at kind of Candace as bad again. Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Flopping, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you think, was there anything out of the ordinary on June 15th at all with your wife or your mother-in-law or anything like that? Or was it just a regular day, do you think?
I believe it was just a regular day, and, as far as we knew, it was a regular day. It turned out to be the most horrible day of my life. But,
Here is the basement question coming up. We were wondering if the boy said that Summer was in the basement. It's coming up here.
All right.
Yeah, because me and Summer were, very, very close. I'll miss her. I wish I could find her, but the reality of it all is just not good.
Yeah.
No,
I'd
there's still
do
a
anything to
chance.
have her back, but
Mhm.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm
so
starting to
grandma
think
must
she was
not be.
targeted.
Oh, sorry. We got a little bit of a delay, I think. Is grandma then? You guys must have been, or grandma at least. Some people are saying grandma's in protective custody because she's so afraid of you.
No, she ain't afraid of me. We get along, you know. I mean, at first we didn't get along so well, but we've learned to get along, you know. And of course, you know, you ain't gonna see eye to eye with your mother-in-law a lot of times. But,
Right.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
So is she still in Illinois?
yeah, she's still there helping her sister.
There's actually people out there putting videos out that think maybe Summer went missing a week before you called 911. What do you think about people
Yeah.
taking that and running with it? Is it possible she could have disappeared a week before?
Well, the only thing about that is, you know, my 3 boys, they're too young to know how to lie. And they're the last ones that seen our daughter go down in the basement to play with her toys. And even my one boy said that he wished Summer wanted him to go down and play with toys with her, but he was too busy playing games on his phone. And he feels really bad that he didn't go down there with her, and kind of blames himself, you know. But my boys ain't gonna lie
Bullshit.
for anybody, not even for us. They're gonna tell the truth. So.
Yep. See,
Bullshit. And that pisses me off because I believe they gaslit those boys completely to believe that made one of the boys say, if I would have gone down in the basement with her, she would still be here today. I don't think the boys ever even saw Summer that day. I think that when Allie shared originally on Unmasked, Allie said that when Candace called her that night from the basement and was telling her the story of what happened, and I even made a video about it. I'm telling you, that's how I remember this stuff.
yeah,
She said Candace told her that when she came in the house and said, "Where's Summer?" the boy said, "Well, I don't know. Maybe she went down in the basement, Mom."
yeah,
Well, that's a huge difference from she went down in the basement to play with her toys.
yeah.
And then to hear Dawn say that she asked one of the boys to go down there with her. No, that's
I
not what
mean,
happened.
because the way they talk about her, she was very independent.
Right.
Like I'm not saying she didn't love her brothers. I'm just saying she was very independent. So she would have probably just carried herself down there just to be by herself.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
why would she go down there by herself anyway? She wouldn't go play in that dungeon by herself. It was dark,
No.
dingy, and nasty and
Yeah.
cold.
That's what I'm saying. If she was going to go down there, she wouldn't have went and got them, I don't think,
Right.
and said, "Go with me."
But if she was going to go anywhere, she wouldn't have gone in the basement. She would have gone outside to her swing.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, I don't think she ever went in that house after she left the morning of June 15th. I think that was the last time that she was ever inside of that house.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
gaslit the boys.
Yeah, I don't believe they would have said, "I wish if we'd have went, she would still be here." I don't believe that either. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the boys said it, but I think that it's because Dawn and Candace made them believe.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They didn't come up with that by
Right.
themselves.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's listen to a few minutes more. I think we're gonna I think he's gonna talk about the church a little bit and then we'll end it.
Okay.
I want him to finish talking about what the boy said.
Okay.
So they were the last ones to see her go down there, and that's what they told the police, because that's the truth. You know, we've always taught them, you know, to be truthful, and that's part of the church we go to. You know.
What do you think about the people? And I've actually had this conversation with Robin, who helped me see a little bit more clear. But the people who think that SDA is more of a cult than a church.
Oh yeah, you know, Satan uses all those words like that to try. You know, he uses all those bad words against God's holy people. What they call Christ? They accused him of blasphemy, right? And that's just Satan's handiwork, calling good people all these things, a cult or whatever, All I could say, is check out the Seventh-day Adventist Church for yourself and then decide, and if you don't, I don't think it's a cult at all.
Yeah.
I'll have to look up the definition of cult, I guess, but to exactly know what that means. But
Well, they
know,
you know how they'll just take and run with it. Their point is they thought that possibly, SDA is a cult and maybe there's children sacrifices.
oh wow, no, God never ever wanted people to sacrifice their children. It says that's right in the Bible. He never wanted anything like that.
Okay. Do you hear what Don just said?
Yes.
You heard what he just said.
Yes, the Bible doesn't want anybody. It says in the Bible, God doesn't want anybody to sacrifice. Yes.
What did Marlena say? He told Marlena's dad.
That it was a sacrificial thing.
For who?
For Don and the church.
For God, though, right? Because of his sins.
Right. So he could be clear. I forget how she said it, but something that had to do with him getting right with the church.
Right.
And, right with God.
And he just says right here, God doesn't want you to sacrifice your kids for that, for any reason. Right. So why would he tell Marlena's dad that? Is my point.
Well, right. Because was Marlena's dad LDS? Or Mormon?
I have no
idea.
idea. Yeah, I have
because
no idea.
I wonder, I'm only asking because I don't know anything about LDS, SDA, Mormon. I don't know any of that. Okay, but I've been watching the Lori Daybell trial, and one of the things that Lori did when she was, so the trial right now is about her would have been ex-husband if they would have divorced, but Charles Fallow. Yeah. So when they had separated, she was telling everybody that Charles was no longer Charles, that he had been taken over by a dark spirit named Ned.
Yeah.
Okay. When she had a girls' gathering with other LDS women, they had a weekend together or whatever. And during that weekend, one of the girls that were there came and testified during the trial. And she had said that Lori asked all of the girls to one night to pray all together. And they were all supposed to pray the evil spirit out of Charles.
Yeah. She said the same thing as about the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
But when she talks about it, like when she questioned that woman, she was like, did I ever say? It was almost like she was denying the whole thing. Like you're twisting it. That's not what it meant. That's not how it was. So it's almost like, it is cult-like. I think that's why people think that it's a cult, because it is cult-like. Like you have to be a part of it to understand it and to be on the in conversation.
Right.
If that makes sense. So that's why I'm wondering if Marlena's dad was Mormon or SDA or, whatever, because if he was, then that would make sense why Marlena said Dawn told her dad that.
Yeah. I don't know if he is or not, but that's complete opposite of what he's saying now.
Right. Which makes me think, because he knows Cher and Mark are not SDA or LDS. So, so that would mean that, they're not on the inside conversation, so he wouldn't give them that details. Or, maybe he thought he could trust her father. Like, I don't know what his relationship was with her father well enough, but...
Well, I just have an issue with that because I don't think he would share something that big with somebody.
But for her to make that up, like, that would be coincidental.
Yeah, but I just don't feel like he would share such a big secret with somebody like that. Why would he just tell somebody that? Why would he entrust that man with that big of a thing? How does he know
Right.
he's
Well,
not going to go tell somebody? How does he know he's not going to
well,
go to law enforcement?
we don't know what Don has on him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That would be the only way if he's
yeah,
not, SDA. That would be the only way that I would see him saying it. Either he's part of the religion also, or Don had something big on that man too.
yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, I don't see how he would say it either.
yeah,
But, that the way he's saying it, oh, no, 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 the Bible says, well, it just gave me the exact same vibes. Eve, help me out. Like, if you see it too, if you've been watching the trial too, or anybody else that's lurking in the chat right now, because that's how I felt when she was questioning. It was a lady with long blonde hair, and
yeah,
Lori has been mean. I mean, she is getting
yeah,
up there. She was reaming the main detective today. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
But she was not nice to that lady whatsoever. And,
Right.
that was supposed to be one of her sisters at the time. And just to hear the way that she was like, basically, she even questioned, didn't you have to take an oath when you came in here? Didn't you swear on the Bible to tell the truth?
Yeah, I think Lori believes her own thing, her own thoughts in her head. I really think she's that delusional.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah,
But it was like you were a part of the in circle when I trusted you with that information.
yeah.
And
You're
now
supposed
you're
to be
putting it out
lying to
here.
me. Yeah,
Right. And now
yeah,
you're putting it out here for the
yeah.
public. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to shame you as much as I can,
Yeah,
So it's kind of like the same with Dawn. Said something to Marlena's dad, then it was because they were, in that in group together,
yeah,
or he thought he could trust him because of, but
yeah,
now it's like, oh no, 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 no,
yeah,
it would never be that. No.
yeah, yeah. I just thought, no, wait a minute. He's just saying here that God don't want you to do that, and then he turns around and tells that guy that. I just thought it was interesting how it's two totally different things. Apparently, according to her, he said it to his dad right opposite what he's telling Mark and Cher.
Right.
So I think that's another lie. One of them's a lie. That
Right.
he told somebody, he either lied and never to that man, or he never said it to him.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well,
All right.
I don't know. Like I said, with that religion, I know that just from today's testimony, I know that Lori asked if the lead detective, she was questioning him, I think, and she said, do you realize that there are 4 different versions of the book of so and so? And the lead detective was like, no, I don't follow that religion.
Right.
And she was like, so is it possible that when I was saying Ned, that I was speaking about something different? Did you question anybody to find out? Like she was just really going at him hard
Yeah.
and saying that, he misunderstood. So I could see Dawn twisting that and be like, oh no, I never said that.
Yeah. 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 All right. Let's see where this interview part ends, and then we'll end it for tonight. Let's see.
We strictly go by the Bible. If it ain't in the Bible, we don't want it. If it's in the Bible,
Which
we want
version?
it. Strictly.
Right.
Ellen White's books are not anything outside the Bible. It explains the Bible. It makes it understandable, and she goes by the Bible, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And so, yeah, she just magnifies the Bible basically.
Oh, vividly. Do any of the members of the church
Go ahead.
come by your house, just see how you're doing, check up on you?
Yeah, Robin, she comes by quite a bit from time to time. She always calls us, invites us to church outings and whatever that's going on and stuff. But me and Candace, we're having a really hard time dealing with this. I'm really having a hard time dealing with it. I was just telling my friend down there, I had a little motorcycle there, and I didn't go too fast or nothing, but I put her on the gas tank, and she was actually steering that thing and giving it the gas. But I wasn't going too fast or nothing. I wasn't in no danger. It wasn't, risking our lives or anything, but she loved that. I mean, she just loved that so much. You know, but I'm, you know, I've been riding bikes my whole life. I'm just not an idiot jumping on a bike either, you know. So I'm sure we'll hear about that.
Did she like fishing
Yeah.
and stuff like that too?
Yeah, her mom always took her fishing and everything. Her mom got to spend a lot of quality time with her. I'm glad she did. You know, all them years.
So
you know, just
weird.
work.
I know.
Yeah, she got to spend a lot of quality time and take a lot of pictures of her. Thank God for that much. But, yeah.
Focused on those pictures.
Right. Right. Well,
Which
I-
pictures were your favorite, Donald?
right. Let's see what he says.
How was Grandma Candace? She has a good relationship with all of the kids.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've all had our times, you know, or
Or
she would try
not.
to get them to. Well, we all do, you know, and try to get kids to do their chores and stuff like that. And they try to, you know, they don't want to do them and stuff like that. You know how that works. But other than that, it's been fine. You know, no problem. You know.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think we'll stop there. That seems like a good place to stop after we had a religious lesson.
Right.
We don't want to forget. But yeah, I just thought that was, I'm like, he's saying totally something totally different than what Marlena said he told her dad. So,
Well, and I don't know. So this is where I guess I stopped watching or stopped learning because I don't know about Marlena's dad. Like, I know that he was a local, but I don't know about her dad. Like, I'm not even sure his name.
I think I have it written down. Let me see.
I bet chat knows. What's Marlena's daddy's name? Anybody? I think once I hear it, then it'll click with me. But I don't know. Like, I don't know the history. I don't know.
Rick.
Okay. Yep. See, I don't know how they know each other. Was he a neighbor or did he live in the
Apparently, he
holler?
had lived there forever. I think. I think I wrote his first name down, but not his last name. Well, I guess it would be Crawford, wouldn't it? Or is that a married name? So I think his first name is Rick.
Yeah, and it's more. I remember hearing Ricky Crawford.
Okay, Ricky.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember hearing about it now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think they lived. They had property there. I don't know if they still do or not.
See, I didn't follow any of that, so I don't even know. Look, I want to share something with you real quick.
Okay. My pen is going out.
I'm sharing screen.
Okay.
Isn't that beautiful? Can you tell what it is?
Butterfly.
You know that crystal thing that I showed you that I got for somebody else?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's basically the same idea, but it's a crystal ball. See the ball down here?
Ooh,
and then the butterfly is sitting on the ball.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love butterflies.
I just got it today, and I was like, oh my goodness, Timu.
That's beautiful. Is it like a paperweight or is it just something to look at?
Yeah, it's basically a paperweight.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
That's
it sits in the
pretty.
palm of my hand.
I was going to ask you how big it is. That's pretty.
Yeah, I knew, like, if I turn my camera on, and I'll try to show you that way, but it's not going to do it justice with the lighting, you know? So I
Yeah.
wanted to take a picture in different lighting, and so you can see the tint, because the ball is just clear glass, but the butterfly has the tint to it, and it depends on what lighting around it. So, like, all of these, the 7, those are with a white light above it. And then this one over here up top by itself, that one is with just my pink light behind me. So it has like a pink tint to it. That's
Yeah.
why it looks like that. But
Did they send you one of those light things to sit it on?
no, but that would be gorgeous.
It would.
So see, you can see the size here. Like it just, it's not really big.
Can I make that? Can I make your hand bigger?
Yes, okay, I'll stop sharing. And then, oh gosh, don't look at me. Then you should be able to click on my box and go full screen.
No, I don't see it.
Let me see.
Nope.
No, like down at the bottom. Not the
Yeah,
layouts.
Yeah.
On my actual picture, like down.
Okay.
The 3 dots in the top right.
Yeah, it didn't make it. It says edit, or kick.
Okay.
I
It
don't
should
have.
say solo layout.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, now we're not there at all.
I don't know. I was going to make it bigger so everybody could see it.
Well, if we could swap our pictures out. Oh, bye.
Oh, wait,
whoa.
there you go.
Let me get it up here.
Okay, now that's better. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's pretty.
So if I can hold it.
Everybody see it in chat?
And see if I turn. Let me see.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. You need to get one of those colored things, like, what do you set on them? Like, you can set crystals on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Any of those.
I forget what they're called though.
They even have little antennas. Little antennae with
I
glass
see them.
bowls.
Yeah. Yeah, I see them. Aw.
It's so cute. And I got it from Temu.
It's real glass?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Nice.
I'm going to stop that camera before the bright light's in my face.
See if I can get us back right. Well, that's not right either. That's not right. That's way over there. I guess
there you go.
Yay!
Yay!
You just have to keep messing around with it. If y'all knew all the crap, well, Aussie probably seen all the crap in front of you. Eve's probably seen it too. It's just a whole bunch of boxes, and you just got to play with them. And
you can rename them.
Rename the boxes?
Mm-hmm. So if you, so at the end of the row, like if you look at the first box to your left and scroll your eyes to the right, at the end of the boxes, there's a pencil, like an edit pencil.
Yep, I see it. Yep.
You click on that, and then it'll pop up whichever one we're on, and then
okay.
Then you can save it, and it'll ask you if you want to change the name.
Gotcha. Okay.
So then you can be like normal layout with media, you know, like I put with media, 1 or 2 people, 3 people with media, 4 people with media, myself with media.
Yeah.
You know, so then I know which.
Very cool.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, I'm gonna hop down so you can say your goodbyes. Thank you so much for having me up here.
Thank you for
Chat
coming up here. Thank you.
chat has been awesome tonight too,
They have.
and they filled us in on a little bit of the Marlena and Lips fireworks going on these streets.
Yeah, that we didn't know about. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. So these
Oh,
tubes,
cool.
I'm telling you, they're always turning.
They always turning.
Always, always.
Mhm.
All right. Well, may you have the kind of day that karma feels you've earned. And until next time, I love you bunches.
Love
Bye,
you.
Tammy. Love you.
I love you. Thank you for coming up. Thank y'all for being here tonight and hanging with us and learning, not learning more, but remembering more about summer. I do appreciate that. Thank you to all my beautiful mods for coming in and helping. Not that I have a roaring crowd, but thank you for coming. I appreciate you very much. I do hope y'all have a rest of the day that is lovely. And it's already it's 1:15 here, 1:16 here. So I hope that y'all get some sleep before you have to wake up for the day. You will rewind and be kind, right? That's showing our age, Aussie. I remember that, and I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you being here. 2:16. Yep, it is late, and I still have to walk in the house from the shed out here, but it's not that far. But thank you, everyone that's lurking and in the bushes. I appreciate you too, because I like to lurk and I like to be in the bushes sometimes. That's where I stay. So I do appreciate everyone. Blockbuster, right? Yeah, we all remember them going in there and waiting, and you go in there and they only have 3 copies, and guess what? You're too late. You're not getting to see that movie this weekend, right? Because they had to, all the copies are gone. That was a thing. So y'all have a great rest of the week. I hope to be live next Wednesday. I doubt I get to go live again, but if I do, that will be fun too. We'll start. We'll do start back where we left off. But thank you for keeping Summer's name out there, and Sebastian and Michael and all of the missing children. We need to keep them out there. Even adults, we need to keep them out there so that maybe one day they will be found. We were talking about the others, those 2 cases earlier. They've been missing for a couple of years and they were found. So we'll always keep the hope and pray that they'll be found. So I hope you have a lovely rest of the night. I've said that like 4 times, I think. But I will see y'all later. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere, and you hung with me and Mandy and Cher for a little while, and Mark, and I appreciate it. So please be kind to everyone everywhere, and please be kind, especially to yourself. Love y'all, and talk to you later. Bye.